Another cloudy day here in London, Ontario. I'm your host, Justin Koehler with MajorsTV, and we're incredibly excited to welcome you to the ballpark for what's sure to be a great matchup between the visiting Barrie Baycats and your London Majors. The Majors have gotten pretty unlucky over the past week so far in terms of rain, getting rained out in both their past two games. So we're hoping the rain stays at bay for a little bit for a good night of Friday baseball. And it's sure to be a great game today, too, between the Barrie Baycats and the Majors, who are tied right now in the standings with a 6-2 record. And it's been very different on how these two teams have gotten their runs, with the Baycats currently sitting 6-2, but sitting in second place for run prevention, and the Majors sitting in second place when it comes to runs scored. So just very different in how they've gotten to that 6-2 record. And so, without any further ado, let's send it up to Ty and Nick in the Game Day London press box to get started with our pregame show.
Thanks so much for that, Justin. Welcome inside the Game Day London broadcast booth for the pregame show presented by PB8 Fitness. I'm Ty White alongside my partner today, Nick McVicker. It's a pleasure to have you with us from wherever you may be. Now, it's been a rather rainy and gloomy day all throughout southern Ontario, but in London, perhaps the calm before the storm as these two giants prepare to face off for the first time all season long, and the winner could potentially earn themselves a first-place spot in all the Inter-County Baseball League. Now, the London Majors fell to the Welland Jackfish by a score of 6-5 in their last game. On the flip side, the Barrie Baycats on Tuesday handed the Guelph Royals their first loss of the entire season. So, partner, what can we expect for this game tonight?
Well, you mentioned it, and Justin mentioned it. This is a battle of the big boys in the league. 6-2 records for both of them. Majors being one of the best hitting teams in the league. On the flip side, the Baycats are one of the best pitching teams in the league, and both teams are sending one of their aces to the mound. I expect this to be a pitching duel, and whichever team can get their pitcher to go a little bit further in the game, they're probably going to have the scales tipped in their favor.
Now, London's potent bats have been headed by none other than Caden Cardoso, one of the top players on the entire London team, but he's been in a slight slump as of recent.
And that's the best way to put it, a slight slump. He went 3 for 9 in his last week, which for most players would be a great week in the IBL. But instead, it's a down week for him because he also added 3 strikeouts. He's not a guy who strikes out a lot. He leads the team at the top of the lineup, and they expect him to get things going. So I really do expect to have a big bounce back from him because we just need more from him if you're a Majors fan.
Indeed. Now, as far as the Barrie Baycats go, their offense is headed by Canis Ijo, who's been really nothing short of terrific in his last few games.
And he's raised his batting average up to .389 on the season after a week where he went 6 for 13. And before that, he led the team in strikeouts with 7 going into this past week. He only had 1 during that frame with 13 at-bats. He really stepped up his game, added 3 stolen bases as well in that time frame. This is a guy who's playing really, really well, and I expect him to get the drink stirred for this Baycats team.
Now, our very own Justin Koehler caught up with General Manager of the Majors, Roop Chandernat, before this one for today's installment of Roop's Report.
So I'm here with GM and co-owner Roop Chandernat. First off, Roop, how's your week been so far?
You know, good week. Anytime you're on baseball field, it's a good week, so looking forward to a big game tonight.
Yeah, definitely. And so my first question for you is, a lot of people at home are always curious of what the general dynamic is like between the players when they're not here. So can you briefly explain how the guys are when they're off the field?
You know, we're a tight group. We're family. We always have a good clubhouse. When I say good clubhouse, guys get along, they hang out together. It's not 1 or 2 guys, it's the whole group that hangs out, which for me as the coach, you know, it's exciting. And we have different personalities, you know, from the Cardosos to the, you know, Victor Plaz. Everyone's a little different, which I like. You can't all be cookie cutter, can't all be the same guy.
Well, often that ends up translating onto the field too, which is great to see. And so today's matchup is a fun one. Can you talk about the starting pitching matchups we have so far?
We got a dandy, you know, 2 Dominican guys are really good. They got Frank Garces, who's been one of the best pitchers in the league for years now. You know, he's dominant. You know, you have to be on your game offensively to get to him. You know, he's going to attack you, and, you know, his numbers speak for themselves. So you got to be locked in, focused. And we got a good one, too, Jose Arias. You know, he's a top pitcher, too. So where do you think, you know, London, Ontario, you see 2 Dominican guys battling it out. It's kind of a neat story, and looking forward to it.
Well, you gotta love to see that Dominican representation no matter what. And so let's send it back up to Ty and Nick in the Game Day London press box to continue with the pregame show.
Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park, and you just watched the PBA Fitness pregame show, functional training for everybody, and this presentation of the Intercounty Baseball League on Majors TV. Ty White joined alongside Nick McVicker, calling the action for you tonight, and it should be a great one between the London Majors and the visiting Barrie Baycats. As we go into tonight's pitching matchup presented by Throw, London's original knife throwing. Now for the London Majors, General Manager Roop Chandernat giving number 45, Jose Arias, the nod.
Yeah, and this guy comes in playing out of his mind right now. 12 1/3 innings, 15 strikeouts, 2-1 record. The ERA might not be where you want it to be, but he has the ability to be a top-of-the-rotation kind of guy, so I expect him to have a good outing in this one.
And on the flip side, it's actually an all-Dominican matchup on the mound tonight. It's Frank Garces playing for the Baycats.
Yeah, and he comes in on possibly his worst outing of the season, 5 1/3 innings, but he gave up 5 earned runs, 7 runs total, and gave up 10 hits in that frame. He did strike out 5, but those are not really realistic of his stats during the regular season so far. 16 1/3, 23 strikeouts, and he's only given up 9 earned runs all season, 5 of them in his last game. So they expect a little bit more from him, and I think they might get it today coming up against his major side.
And Nick, we saw in Justin's Roop's report that Roop Chandernat identified Garces as one of the top pitchers in all the IBL over the last couple of seasons, former pitcher of the year and first-team All-Star. So the Majors batting order will have their hands full tonight, and we'll keep an eye on this all-Dominican matchup. Should be really, really exciting. Now, something important to note, the Majors in their camo uniforms tonight. And as we've noted in previous games that they've worn the uniforms, formerly on the Military Appreciation Night, the numbers on the back are a little bit hard to see for everyone here in the ballpark.
Yeah, but don't worry, folks at home. We will do our best to make sure you know exactly who's up to bat and who's in the field making the great plays. That is our job, and that's why you get to enjoy it at home. The jerseys are beautiful. We love to see these. It's a nice little color combination with the blue and the white and the black all in one. I really like it, but yeah, a little tough to see the numbers necessarily.
We'll take a second to go over the umpires for tonight's game. The crew chief at home plate is Rob Stevenson. On third base is Justin Snively-Topping, and on first is Bob Blake. So for the first time tonight, we'll get a look at the Barrie Baycats lineup.
Yep, and leading it off is Ejo. He's going to be playing center field for them, followed by Kyle Maves at second base. Adam Odd will be the third baseman in the 3-hole. Ryan Reho is the DH for the Baycats. Hayden Jacko, the catcher. Nolan Macabroda at first base. Ricky Phillips in right field. Zach Orchard in left. And Carson Burns at short rounds out the 9.
As we get this one started with an Arias fastball, and it's going to be in there for strike 1.
Nice first pitch for Arias there. We want to get started right.
Arias definitely the ace on this Majors lineup. 2-1 record on the year as that ball's in the dirt. Count it 1-1.
And you know he's going to want to try to get on top of Ejo here. This is a guy with a lot of speed. You do not want to let him on the base paths.
The 1-1 to Ejo. Fastball. And it got him swinging. Arias relying on that fastball early. And he's ahead in the count 1-2.
Good start for Arias here. Getting ahead of Ejo.
The 1-2 to Ejo swung on, and it's fouled hard and back.
I don't think that's where Diolio wanted that pitch. He lined up way outside, and that one was closer to the strike zone than he anticipated.
Ejo, one of the more prolific hitters on this Baycats lineup, batting .270 in 2023. As that slider is low and away, and Diolio couldn't hang on to it.
I think that might have been behind a left-handed batter if there was one. It was way in that left-handed batter's box.
Definitely have to watch out. Not a very sunny day, which is definitely different here at Labatt Memorial Park. We've had a lot of beautiful weather in London over the last several games, but London had some difficulty over the last couple, having their game delayed actually against Kitchener, and before that, complete rainout. The 2-2 from Arias. That ball was dropping down, but it swung on and hit in the center. So Ijo's going to stay at first base, and he's going to be the first player to get on the base today.
Continues his hot run of play here for the Baycats, getting on base early. And now you got to keep an eye on the speed. This is a guy who stole 3 bases in his last 3 games, so you know he has the ability. Arias with a good fastball. It'll be interesting to see if they test him here early.
So here comes Kyle Maves, native of Burlington, and played college ball at Quinnipiac University. Big hockey school. In his career at Quinnipiac, he batted nearly 300, 298, with 67 RBIs and 132 runs. And in the 2023 playoffs just last year, which Barrie made it all the way to the finals, he batted 348 as the bunt attempt there is well behind, fouled off.
Playing a little small ball early, the Baycats, and with a player who's not batting the best in Maves at 143, not exactly a surprise. You got the speed on the base pass. You want to get him over to second as fast as possible, and a little bunt attempt is a nice play.
As we see Ijo's the attempt to steal second, but what a throw by Eduardo Diolio. And they're going to punch out the first out of the inning. We've seen that all season long from the all-star catcher, Eduardo Diolio, with a fantastic play over to second to pick off his man.
And it was a perfect pitch from Arias to get Ijo at second. High outside fastball allows Diolio to get out of his stance quickly and get a perfect throw down to second. This one's popped up behind home plate here.
Yeah, fouled well behind, and the Majors are just going to let it drop into the net.
So they allow Ijo on, which is something we were worried about, and then they catch him trying to steal second. That's a good start for the Majors right there. Get him off the base pass. Don't allow the Baycats to really capture that momentum early in the game. And now Arias is up 2 strikes on the next batter. You got to love it.
The 1-2 to Maves from Arias. Fastball low and outside. It's going to be called for strike 3. So Arias records his first strikeout of the evening and punches out Kyle Maves.
Arias may have gotten a call on that one, but the Majors fans are not going to be too concerned. A great effort there, and everything going right there for Arias early in the game.
As you mentioned, probably the beneficiary of that call, but nonetheless, he'll take it. So the Majors have 2 outs after the strikeout and the pickoff from Eduardo Diolio. This one swung on from Adam Odd right to the second baseman today. Gibson Krasminski gets over to Cardoso, and just like that, the Majors retire the lineup in order.
Good top of the inning there for the Majors. Obviously giving up the hit, not ideal, but they respond really quickly, getting the caught stealing, and a beneficial strikeout call. Everything maybe going to the game plan for the Majors in that first inning.
Now we'll get our first look at the game at the Baycats pitching. As we mentioned, Frank Garces, 1-1 record on the year, 23 strikeouts notably. That's good for 3rd in all the Intercounty Baseball League, and nearing a 5 ERA of San Cristobal in the Dominican Republic.
Yeah, and he's been phenomenal outside of his last start. As we mentioned, gave up only 4 runs going into that one and 5 in his last start. You know he's going to want to bounce back. This Majors team, though, is a very good batting team, so it's going to be tough for him. He really needs to figure it out.
We'll also get our first look at the Majors offense. Let's take a look at their batting order today.
Yep, and leading it off is number 19, Champ Garner. He's playing center field, followed by Tommy Reyes-Cruz at shortstop, Starling Joseph and Caden Cardoso in the big batting lineup, 3 and 4 slots. Eduardo Diolio, Byron Reichstein, Victor Plas, Gibson Krzemski, and Tristan Osika will round out your 9. This is a very strong lineup for the Majors. You know they're going to want to capitalize early because they saw what happened in Garces' last outing. If they can get on him early, you know they're going to take every advantage.
Pretty common lineup for the London Majors, especially as far as the infield goes. Having Tommy Reyes-Cruz, Plas, Cardoso, and Krzminski. But a bit of a new name you mentioned, Tristan Osika, made his debut not too long ago. A new London Major, spent 3 years with the Hamilton Cardinals, is a switch hitter, infielder, and attended Indiana Tech University.
And he's DHing today, getting a few more reps. They like this batter. That's why they brought him into the lineup, and they really want to see more from him. So a great opportunity here to really showcase his talent.
As Garces still checking in himself, we're going to have Champ Garner leading off during the London Majors outing versus the Chatham-Kent Barnstormers, an 11-7 victory. Champ Garner was the MVP of that game and received a nice ovation here from the London Majors faithful. So he's been playing very well recently and has earned the leadoff spot, a very quick runner as well.
Yeah, he went 5 for 9 in his last 2 games last week, and something that you really want to see more of if you are a Majors fan. He has a .350 batting average coming into this one, so a really good kind of leadoff guy, especially because you want Cardoso and Joseph a little bit further down your lineup batting guys in. You want them with players on base, so this is a guy that you love having at the top.
So Garces for the first time tonight. In there with a fastball, as you can see, a unique throwing style, and it's in there for strike 1.
And you always want to see a pitch from a pitcher coming off of a bad outing.
Big swing from Champ Gardner. Umpire said it was ticked, but nonetheless, he's down 0-2 quickly, Gardner.
And you mentioned Garce's pitching style. It's almost like he just flicks the wrist and gets all that speed late.
As Champ Gardner swings on one, he's going to belt it out to the right field side, but should be a routine play in the end. And Ricky Phillips collects that one for the first out for the Barrie Baycats.
Gardner doing a good job to catch up to that one, but just a little bit underneath it and allowed the ball to hang up in the air there for Phillips to get underneath. But not the worst first at bat for the Majors, as you want to see a few pitches from the lefty on the mound.
Now in steps Tommy Reyes-Cruz, has been playing very well as of recently from Montreal, Quebec, and attended Faulkner University in Montgomery, Alabama, the state's capital. As he swings at one, it's going to make it out to the left field side, and a pretty easy pop out in the end. Had some speed on it, but unfortunately was right to Zach Orchard. And just like that, the Majors are down 2 quickly.
Not ideal start for the Majors, but I did say pregame that you expect Garces to kind of bounce back in this one, and so far getting 2 flyouts is not the worst way to start.
Listen to the grand ovation that Starling Joseph receives here from the London Majors crowd. Not the busiest crowd for a Friday night, but that was more than likely because of the weather, but still a decent showing in the end considering how much of the wet stuff poured down on us here at Labatt Memorial Park. That was a fastball low and away and looked pretty outside to me there, Nick, but once again the umpire's going to give the pitcher the nod.
Makeup call potentially? Early for a makeup call.
Rather early. Is that one outside?
Changeup. That's probably the first changeup we've seen from Garces. I know it's still early, 6th pitch, but something to keep an eye on if he can throw that well.
Starling Joseph's been playing fantastic in his last several games. One of the best hitters in this Majors lineup, as he's going to swing hard at that one, and that was a very nice pitch from Garces.
All 3 pitches low and outside. Something that he's probably noticed about Joseph's swing is that he may not be able to reach those ones, so something to keep an eye on for the rest of the game.
Joseph also from the Dominican Republic, San Pedro de Macua. Same hometown as Sammy Sosa, as just like that, a strikeout recorded from Garces, and he sits down the Majors lineup and Starling Joseph. When we come back after the break, we'll see the Barrie Baycats try to get on the board for the first time in this outing. You're watching Majors TV with Ty and Nick.
Welcome to Labatt Park in London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at labattparktours.ca.
Get suited up with us for our big night. We went to Collins Clothiers. They had suits and tuxedos in various colors and styles. The staff helped us pick exactly what we wanted. They custom fit our suits for the perfect fit. They even matched us to our date's dress. It was so much fun trying on suits with the boys on the VIP night. They even got us pizza while we tried clothes on.
The prom kids, of course, are going to be the best dressed.
We felt so confident and looked amazing.
Back inside Labatt Memorial Park, where both sides were retired in order, respectively, from Barrie and London. Ty White alongside Nick McVicker. And it's an overcast evening here at Labatt Memorial Park, where the Barrie Baycats getting ready to check back in. And it's arguably the most known Baycat. Had a good outing last game. Ryan Rijo, formerly of New Mexico Junior College, and was a 37th round pick back in 2018 of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Yeah, and he comes in actually not playing great so far this season. Only has a 200 average, 6 hits in 30 at-bats. Not exactly what the Baycats expect from Rijo, so he's going to want to get it going. He might be in a little tough today with the pitching matchup he's facing.
The first offering from Marias is swung on and high for an out opportunity. Diolio's going to chase it. Plaz is going to chase it. And Arias, but Diolio makes the play in the end. And the Majors on the first pitch have one man down.
Nice quick out there from Arias, who has a lot of time here to get his pitch count up. He's done so well so far to just get quick outs, and if that's the case, he could go deep into this one.
So in comes Hayden Jacko. Jacko of Coquitlam, British Columbia.
And on the flip side, we said Rijo's been struggling this year. Jayco, .474 batting average on the year so far. Second on the team, only behind Zach Orchard, who has only played in 2 games. So really, Jayco is the team leader in batting average.
Yeah, quite the opposite from Rijo. The 2021 IBL Rookie of the Year. Didn't play in 2022 due to his MCL injury. Played a lot of college ball in the States as he's going to smoke one out. In between the left and right field, it's going to be a long run, but a good play in the end by Champ Gardner to get across there. And the second out again quickly. A lot of quick outs here in this outing as Jayco's retired.
And he got good wood on that one, but unfortunately just not enough in the depth. It might be cooled down a little bit after the storm, so baseball might not fly as deep as it would on a hot day. Something to keep an eye on today, but a great job by the outfielders to converge on that one and make the catch.
Nolan Makibroda up at the plate for the first time. From Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, signed by the Minnesota Twins back in 2022. And that pro opportunity came after he batted .460 with the Cumberland Bulldogs of the NAIA. Arias keeping this pitch count pretty low number thus far. Less than 15 on the day as that one's in there. Count at 1-1.
And that low pitch count is something that the Majors are going to be super excited about through inning and 2/3. If he can keep doing that, they want to keep him on the mound as long as they possibly can. He has electric stuff, and when he's going, he's one of the top pitchers in the league.
That low fastball in there for strike 2. And Arias head on the count. As we talked about before the game, definitely starting pitching longevity is going to be of significant importance as this one carries on. As Makibroda is going to smack one out to Victor Plaz. Can he make the long throw across to Cardoso? He will, and punches out his man. A beautiful play there, making it look easy, Victor Plaz. And the Majors once again retire the Baycats in order.
That was not an easy play at all. Going to his left into the hole. He had to stop, plant, and try to throw it across his body. What a great play there by Plas to get it across the diamond and get the out in the end and get the Majors back on the sticks. You know that's what they want to do. Keep the pitch count down and get back out there to try to jump on Garces.
Now here at Labatt Memorial Park, it's the 3rd annual Mothers Against Drunk Driving Drive Sober campaign. We have some cool giveaways and stuff in the ballpark with if you came in and bought a ticket tonight. So lots of cool stuff going on and around, lots of promotions throughout the year. Be sure to check out the London Majors website to keep track of when all of those are. Of course, the big one, Father's Day, coming up in just over a week's time on the 16th of June. And that should be a special one around here. Free admission on that night as well.
And that's one of the best parts about the IBL is the promotion schedule that all of the teams run out. You want to have fun at these games, and that's exactly what these teams try to offer. And it's a great opportunity to get campaigns out there like the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. This is a great opportunity. So love to see this and excited for what's to come still for the Majors this season.
Yeah, fantastic cause.
Cardoso coming up next, and I mentioned that he's a guy who can get things started for the Majors. He's hitting fourth. This is a guy that they need to get going. As we mentioned, a bit of a down week, hitting only .333. He's ready to get things going, and he's keeping an eye quickly on Garces here as he warms up, because lefty on lefty matchup, this is going to be a good one.
So Cardoso playing not to his usual standards, I should say, over the last couple of games. You mentioned hitting .333, which, although is lower than normal, is nothing too bad to write home about.
Not at all.
And he's looking to get back to his really prolific ways. One of the best players, to say the least, and certainly one of the candidates for Rookie of the Year in the Intercounty Baseball League.
And along with DiOlio, leads the team in home runs with 3, so we could see some pop here as well. So something to keep an eye on.
Indeed, both Cardoso and DiOlio continue to make their assault on the home run race as a hit is poked in past the first baseman into right field, and Cardoso immediately gets himself on first base after the last home outing where he didn't touch base once. He remedies that right away.
And he also has speed. I mentioned that he had 3 stolen bases in his last 2 games. Well, he has 8 on the season, so something to keep an eye on now for the Baycats, as this guy can really run the bases. He's second on the team in stolen bases, ironically. So something to really keep an eye on.
100%, as Garces and already tossed out his 8th pitch of the evening to Eduardo DiOlio, the man we just talked about. DiOlio 3 home runs on the year as that one's in there for strike 1. He's also hitting .200 with 7 hits, 6 runs, and 9 RBIs.
I apologize. Cardoso has 1 stolen base on the year. I was reading the wrong stat. Gotta love that. But still a threat there.
Definitely still a threat.
And he just got the balk. He was bouncing up and down at first and ended up making Garces step off awkwardly, so he gets second base anyway.
So Cardoso discombobulates Garces there, really throws him off his stride and makes his way over to second base nicely. So the Majors, no outs, and the bottom of the second, 0-1 to DiOlio. Cardoso another large lead off second as DiOlio takes a hard hack at that one off a pitch that was sliding towards him. Nice toss from Garces.
And this is going to be a big matchup in this outing. DiOlio has the power, has the hitting ability, can even just hit for average. So you know this is dangerous. And there you go. He pokes one into right field. Are they going to send Cardoso?
They are. Cardoso actually held up at the last minute, but DiOlio with a nice hit again into that right field side. And the Majors painted the corners early on here in the second.
And runner in scoring position. DiOlio comes up with a hit, forces the Baycats outfielder to come up with the ball quickly. And now Cardoso on third. Good opportunity here to cash in an early run for the Majors.
Another player who's seen some early success in the season for the Majors, Brian Reichstein. Up to bat for the first time this evening. From St. Thomas and attended Southern Arkansas University. Also training to be a police officer. As you can see, it looks like a lot of ambitious leads here from Caden Cardoso. Wants to make his run, wants to get in there at home plate.
Well, the one thing he's noticing that Garces isn't looking over at third.
He's definitely not, as Reichstein will tip that one slightly forward. Cardoso will remain, but the first out of the bottom of the second is finally taken here by the Barrie Baycats as Reichstein grounds out.
And not exactly the swing you want with a runner in scoring position, but he does move Diolio over, so now there's 2 runners in scoring position, and now Plas comes up with the opportunity to really cash in a few runs.
Plas, one of the few players on the roster from the great province of Quebec. And he's had a good start to the season as well. A lot of these majors in the batting order, very prolific hitters, batting .258 Plas, 7 runs, 8 hits, and 4 RBIs. As he takes a big swing at that one, down 0-1 quickly. Reminder that Diolio sitting comfortably at second, and Caden Cardoso on third, only 1 out. So a big opportunity here for Victor Plas. The 0-1 swung on again. That one was high and inside, but he will take a swing at that one and down quickly 0-2.
Something to keep an eye on as well. I mentioned it in the last batter, but Garces hasn't looked over once to either of the 2 runners in scoring position. Could be something that the majors might want to notice and maybe drop down a quick suicide squeeze or something, as this one's popped to foul territory.
Get back, and fans were not able to make the play on that one. And like to get a look over at third base again, because Caden Cardoso is playing very tricky once again, trying to get the attention of Garces. He made a fake run attempt there to home plate. Looks like he's going to steal home, which I don't know, you have to have a lot of gusto to do that.
It's a third of the way down the line before the pitch even was released.
So interesting to see what he will do here. Count still at 0-2 as Plas will take a swing and strikes out there by Garces. Nice pitch from him, and he needs that just to calm down a little bit. Got himself into a sticky situation. Trying to crawl out of that now, so 2 outs in the bottom of the second. And Gibson Krasminski in for the first time.
Krasminski on the season batting .263. He does have 2 RBIs, but the big thing that he's really good at is getting on base through the walk. 6 walks on the year. So he might just try to force Garces to throw strikes here, get a few pitches over, and get that pitch count a little bit higher.
The first pitch to Krasminski. Fastball right down the middle. First strike 1.
Good job by Garces to get ahead of another batter in a very difficult situation.
See more movement from Cardoso there as Krasminski takes a hack at one. Will poke it out well past the first base line down the right field side.
Into the tree in right field. Actually did hit the tree.
Did make its way out there. Souvenir for the fans.
Some youngsters in right field corner went running for it. You got to love that. That's one of the best parts about IBL with the promotional schedule is seeing the young fans come out and watch the games.
Lots of young folks in attendance tonight as that one is belted. It's carrying back, and it's going to have to be a longer run, but made in the end by Ken Isijo. So the Majors had a chance there to take a lead with Cardoso on third, Diolio on second, but Garces staying strong, gets himself out of a pickle, and keeps this one scoreless through 2. London Majors nothing, Barrie Baycats nothing. You're watching Majors TV with Ty White and Nick. I blanked on it there for a second.
Hello, my name is Jim Nuther with Nuther's The Award Store. Come along with me on a virtual tour to take a look at our amazing products and services that we're able to provide to you to help you with your recreation needs.
Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park. You're watching Majors TV with Ty White and Nick McVicker. We're scoreless through the first 2 innings as Jose Arias takes the mound for the 3rd time in this one, sitting at about 14 pitches, keeping that pitch count relatively low, Nick.
And it's talked about in the majors all the time. If you can get through the first 2 innings at under 20 pitches, you're probably doing something right. Arias has been exactly that. He's got all 6 batters out, kind of. Did give up a hit to Ejo, but got him caught stealing right after. So he's gone through the minimum number of batters to face through 2 innings. So expect him to go deep into this one.
It's been a pretty quick 2 innings thus far. Lots of fast outs.
And now Ricky Phillips up to bat for the Baycats. He's not having the best of seasons, batting under the 200 mark at 182. So they really need him to get off the schneid and get going, but the 6 strikeouts are not helpful. Does have 8 stolen bases, though. Something to keep an eye on.
Definitely so dangerous if he gets on base, as Arias is in there. 15th pitch is for a strike on a nice fastball. Now Ricky Phillips, one of the few Americans on the field today from Reynoldsburg, Ohio, and attended Notre Dame, Ohio, as he goes down 0-2 quickly off another fastball from Arias.
And Arias staying away from Phillips. Doesn't want to give him the opportunity to bunt one down the third base line because he does have that much speed.
Arias, another fastball is in there for strike 3. That was beautiful. And a nice strikeout again, so his 2nd strikeout of the game. And again, quickly sits the first man up to bat.
And Phillips didn't like the call. I will say the ump is being very consistent with the strike zone, so the batters are going to have to adjust a little bit. But as long as it stays consistent, that's all you can really ask for.
Definitely a few questionable calls from Rob Stevenson, acknowledged by the players and the fans here.
But as I said, as long as it's consistent, you can't really challenge it too much. If it becomes inconsistent, that's where players get a lot more frustrated and fans on the same side.
So we'll see if it stays consistent there as that fastball's inside for strike 1.
Zach Orchard only making his 3rd appearance. This is only his 5th at-bat of the season. Does have 2 hits and an RBI coming into this one, so he has been hitting well in his limited time.
That ball sliding way down low, and it will be called for a strike. Staying consistent, Nick, as you mentioned. Staying consistent there. It was a nice, a lot of nice movement on that one from Arias. Fastball, low in the dirt. Count evens itself out at 2 apiece.
And I mentioned Orchard has had limited at-bats. He only had 1 at-bat in the previous 3 games for the Baycats, and he struck out in that 1 at-bat. So he really hasn't had an opportunity to get into this season. You wonder if it's coming off of an injury or something like that, but he needs a little bit more, and there's another K on his docket.
Another K indeed. A nice punch-out from Arias, his 3rd of this outing so far. Sits down Zach Orchard, and Carson Burns steps up. As that beautiful sound effect from The Price is Right rings true here throughout Majors Ballpark, Labatt Memorial Park, the world's oldest baseball ground since 1877. And we're celebrating 100 years of baseball in the London organization, as this one is slapped out to Cardoso, who's going to make a routine fielding play on that one. And will retire Carson Burns. So once again, the Majors sit down the Baycats in order and run through their entire lineup. So right now we're going to throw it down to field side where Justin Koehler has an update for us.
So as I mentioned before the game got underway, the Majors are doing incredibly well when it comes to runs scored, currently sitting in 2nd place with 63 in the league. But that is not the only offensive category that the Majors are doing incredibly well in. For collective team average, they're currently sitting in 3rd place with a 293 average, and on base percentage, they're currently sitting in 2nd place with 395. Arif Chanderdad is actually starting to compare the team more to the likes of the 2022 championship roster rather than the 23. He does say, though, that there is still room for improvement even with the incredible offense the team has seen so far, saying that they're still leaving a few more runners on than he would like, as we've already seen so far in this game. But of the players doing well, the likes of Cardoso, Reyes Cruz, and Joseph are just a few of the ones who are on a hot streak, and the season is still young. And so let's send it back up to Ty and Nick in the Game Day London press box to continue with the bottom of the third.
Thanks so much for that update, Justin. And Nick, you just noticed something interesting of note as far as the statistics columns goes for these two teams.
Absolutely, and Justin was talking about the hitting and the ability that these two teams have. But one thing that has been really impressive by the Majors this year is that they're actually not striking out that much in comparison to the rest of the IBL. If you take out the Guelph team, who's only played in 5 games,
yes,
they actually have the second fewest strikeouts behind Brantford, who has only played in 7 games. So not a real big shock there that those two are the lowest strikeout totals in Guelph and Brantford. London doing a really good job making sure that they don't swing and miss on a lot of opportunities. So something to keep an eye on. They already have a couple today, so they really need to continue to do what they've been doing all season long.
So let's see if they can keep that out, as we'll see Tristan Osika step in, Champ Gardner, and Tommy Reyes Cruz. Now, if you're a fan of the Intercounty Baseball League, not too busy on this Friday evening. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in Bernie Arbor Memorial Stadium taking on the Cardinals. And the game that's really of importance here to fans at Labatt Memorial Park, the Guelph Royals on the road against the Brantford Red Sox. If the Royals drop that game and the Majors win this one tonight, or the Baycats win, whoever wins this game, if Guelph loses, will be in first place in all the Intercounty Baseball League. The Maple Leafs currently leading the Cardinals 1-0, and no score between Guelph and Brantford. So we'll keep an eye on that for you as the night progresses. Tristan Osika is going to poke one out, and it reaches too far in front of Ricky Phillips, and he will get on base for a single. The new London Major making an impact immediately.
Yeah, but he only had 1 game, no at-bats prior to this. He was hit by a pitch in his 1 plate appearance. So a nice welcome to this game for Osika.
So Champ Gardner back out. He flew out in his first at-bat. And we'll continue to see if Garces can keep up his very solid pitching to the first 2, now into the third. Pitches in there. It will be a bunt attempt that's going to parachute its way right back to Garces. So an easy out, and definitely not the bunt attempt that Champ Gardner wanted.
It's very hard to bunt a ball that high, but Gardner did a great job of doing it. That was a well done pop out to the pitcher on a bunt.
Osika still sitting at first base. And the shortstop, Tommy Reyes Cruz, who also flew out in his first at-bat, checks back in. As he's getting a nice welcome here from the London fans. Very vocal, one of the loudest and proudest grounds here in all the Intercounty Baseball League.
And there's some great diamonds in the IBL, so when you get to say something like that, this is a fantastic one here at Labatt Memorial Park. So you gotta love when the crowd comes out and makes it boisterous and loud and a lot of fun for the players.
Not many better places in London to spend a Friday night. That one will be fouled. Got a piece of it, just ticked it nearly in front of him there, Reyes Cruz, and count at 1 apiece.
I think he also hit that off himself. That's why he's doing the long walk around, just trying to give himself a second to stretch and let that pain dissipate a little bit.
The 1-1 from Garces. Looking his way back, and it will be a second balk. That is, it's really rare to see one, it's extremely rare to see 2, and within such a close span of the last one. So his second balk of the game as he was looking once again to the first base as Tristan Osika was there, and he was bamboozled.
Great word, bamboozled.
Always fun to try to get it in there if a balk happens, and it did there as the fans are chanting out one more time here in Labatt Memorial Park.
as Barrie's manager, Josh Matlow, came out to discuss with the first base ump. Didn't like the call. Second balk. You really don't see that, as you said, Ty, so he was not too happy about it.
And it didn't look like so much of an obvious balk as that nice slider down and away in there for a strike. So 1-2. The Tommy Reyes Cruz. Definitely a little controversial, but the Majors will take it nonetheless. Swung on by Reyes Cruz, makes its way over to Maki Broda, and he will calmly tag the bag for the second out.
Yeah, but he does move the runner over one more base, now 90 feet away from home for Starling Joseph, who, as we mentioned pregame, he's hitting really well. So give him a guy in scoring position. That's a great opportunity here for Joseph to bat in the first run of the game.
Starling Joseph, as we have continuously mentioned throughout the broadcast, being one of the best hitters on this Majors lineup, batting .382, 13 hits, 8 runs, and 11 RBIs, which is tied for second best in all the Intercounty Baseball League. Osika on third, as this one is smoked all the way back from Starling Joseph, but it will go foul, unfortunately.
I was going to say, if it's fair, it's gone, but unfortunately leaned a little bit too far left for Joseph. A great swing, got good contact, was just a little bit in front of it. Something that we sort of talked about pregame, the slower pitching a little bit. It looked like that was a hanging changeup, and he just was a little bit ahead of it.
Took a huge swing at that one, and it's too bad for him as it carried just a bit left. But he got a good piece of it in the end, and he's now down 0-2 after the swing and the miss from Garces's offering.
Good high outside fastball. Hard to get on top of one of those pitches, so smart move by Garces to throw that ahead in the count.
Got himself in a bit of a jam here, Joseph. He will take another swing. It's going to carry out, but just as far as Ricky Phillips, who makes the out. And just like that, we continue to be scoreless through the first 3 innings. Nothing so far. A fantastic display of defense, and when we come back, we'll see the Baycats back at bat. You're watching Majors TV with Ty White and Nick McVicker.
Beyond the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of Majors TV.
Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park as we are just witness to an amazing race. One of the many activities taking place here in the ballpark annually throughout the games, as we see this little fella in the Lightning McQueen hat making his way around. Guerrero's in the score now at home, and just a great atmosphere. What a great ballpark. And as you mentioned before, a lot of youngsters come out to these games.
Yeah, and there was probably 30, 40 children running the bases here in a little bit of a race. You gotta love it. My favorite, obviously, the Lightning McQueen hat. A big Disney fan here, so getting to see a Lightning McQueen hat, that's something you don't see every day at the ballpark, but you gotta love it.
It's a great touch. So the Baycats are back up to bat now. Ari is still on the mound through the first 4. And he's been pitching well so far. He's recorded a lot of quick outs, which has been nice to see for the Majors.
Yeah, and he's faced the minimum through 3, something that the Majors manager is going to be super excited about. Just over 20 pitches, pitching very efficiently. This could be a long outing if he can continue like this.
And for the Baycats, it's back to the top of the order. But before that, important to mention that the London Majors on Tuesday, June 4th, members visited the Challenger Baseball senior team at their practice. For those unfamiliar, Challenger Baseball is support for players with disabilities. So a lot of good showing there. Roop Chanderdat, Jared Lund, Tommy Reyes-Cruz, Caden Cardoso, and Champ Gardner were all in attendance, cheering on the athletes while also making sure everyone had a great time playing the game of baseball. So beautiful show of their love for their community here, the London Majors team.
Yeah, and I've been around Challenger Baseball for a few years. I've seen the opportunities that they give players with disabilities. It's a great organization, and if you haven't seen it or haven't been to one of the games, I highly recommend you get out if you can. It's a great initiative and a great organization.
So big props to Challenger Baseball for all the amazing initiatives and sport you carry out when your organization. Proud partner with the London Majors.
Joe, the only player to get on base for the Baycats so far today, and he got caught stealing in the first after getting a single. So
he did. He was thrown out by Diolio. There's no stranger to that. At least 3 or 4 times now on the season. Gold Glove candidate. That one in the dirt for 1-1 from Arias to Ijo, as we're back at the top of the order for the Baycats. The 1-1 from Arias was sliding low and outside, and that'll be ball 2.
Second time through the order, it's the same sort of setup going up against Ijo for Arias, as he is trying to stay away from him for the most part, not giving him a whole lot of opportunity to make contact with the ball.
Fastball looked to be a little bit high. It looked like a nice ball, actually, in the end, but the umpire's going to call it a little bit high. So the count at 3-1 now. And we'll see if we get a big swing from Ijo here.
He's got the opportunity, probably has the green light as their best hitter.
He will take a hack at it, and it's going to make it just as far as Kresminski will make the play in time over to Cardoso. So nice play from Gibson Kresminski, hobbling his way over to collect that one in between second and first, and they punch out Canis Ijo.
Not an easy play for the second baseman. He's running in, but that was kind of a weird hop near the edge of the grass. Could have gone anywhere, and with speed running down the line, you really have to attack that ball. Kuzminski did a great job doing that and ends up getting the out for his pitcher.
And that ball was moving slow towards Kuzminski in the end, and Ijo's a pretty quick player. He made his way very fast over to first base. But the play was made in time, and one's down for the Majors, as we caught Kyle Maves looking there on a potential bunt attempt.
That's the second time at first pitch he's looked bunt. Both ended up being strikes against, so something to keep an eye on. If he continues to do that, maybe Arias can just keep throwing the strikes through the middle of the zone.
Speaking of throwing the strikes, that one in there for strike 2 off a hard fastball. And it got Maves swinging. So the 0-2 to Maves.
Struck out looking in his first at-bat.
See if more of the same comes here. He will get a piece of it. Keeps himself alive.
Going towards the cars.
Hard. Yes, definitely got to watch out here. Those cars are positioned just past to the left of home here at Labatt Memorial Park, and we've certainly seen a fair few balls smoked into the parking lot. So if you come here, try to park that car, I'd say towards the back.
I parked right against the fence.
Definitely smart. As pitch in there, 1-2 count to Maves.
Maves not having a great year at the plate, as we mentioned in the first inning, so he's really hoping to try to get on base.
And he got his man swinging once again. Arias sits down another one, his 4th strikeout of the evening so far. Sits down Kyle Maves, and it's 2 down for the Majors.
4 Ks through the first 11 batters here for Arias. Something that all Majors fans are definitely cheering for, and you know his team's going to get behind him and just keep pushing away, trying to get that first run for him.
So in steps Adam Odd again, as first pitch he's going to swing. It's going to make its way all the way out to Starling Joseph with a routine catch, and the Majors once again do a good job to sit down the side in order. A fly out, a ground out, and a strikeout. Now we're going to send it again to an interview pre-recorded before the game. Justin Koehler sat down with former MVP of the game, Champ Gardner. Let's check that out right now.
And so I'm here with Champ Gardner. Champ, right off the bat, how's your week?
We don't need to hear it.
The week's been great so far.
Okay,
Love to hear it. And so last time I talked to you was actually when you made a player of the game during the last win here at the Labatt Park. Now that you've had a bit of a week to cool down, how are you feeling?
Feeling great, just trying to keep it up, play hard for the team.
And you'll hear one of the biggest things that I talk about anytime I'm up in the booth is the importance of small ball and small game. But how does it feel to be dominant so far on both the small game and the big game as a team?
It feels great because when I play small ball, it opens up the gap shots for me. And when they play back, the small ball helps out.
You got to love the combination of both for sure. And so with that, let's send it back up to Ty and Nick in the Game Day London press box.
London here at the Forks of the Thames, Labatt Memorial Park, where we are still scoreless through the first four. London Majors are back at bat now. As the Barrie Baycats are in town, you're watching Majors TV with Ty White and Nick McVicker. And although it has been a bit of a rainy and overcast day, still relatively warm here at the ballpark.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. I thought it was going to cool down after the rain finally subsided, but it stayed a little bit warm, not hot necessarily. So I still don't think the ball's going to travel very far. But a guy who wants the ball to travel far, Caden Cardoso, picked up a hit in the first inning, raised his batting average back over 400 for the season, now sitting at 412. He really is the guy for the Majors. If he can get going, he's gonna get a lot going for this London side.
So bottom of the fourth, the Majors back in. Caden Cardoso stepping up now. He's going to be followed by Eduardo De Olio and Byron Reichstein. As Cardoso got on base with a single. And remember, he also forced the first balk from Garces.
Lefty on lefty matchup. You'd usually favor the pitcher, but hard to go against Cardoso.
Indeed, but that was a very nice pitch from Garces. Sliding low and outside. And painted the strike zone nicely for strike one. That ball a little bit more, looked to be a little bit more inside that time, but it was upstairs. Count at 1-1. Cardoso waiting patiently. The 1-1 is swung on. And a nice pitch to fool Cardoso from Garces.
A fantastic pitch. Garces was well ahead of Cardoso's swing, so he's probably going to go back to something similar there. Expect a fastball on the outside.
1-2.
Quick pitch.
Quick indeed. Well outside, though. Count evens itself out at 2 apiece.
Almost looked like Garces fell off the mound there. On the quick like he didn't look set with his pitch there.
It was an odd step forward. Looked a bit unorthodox. That one more normal, and it will paint the outside for strike three, so Cardoso is struck out. Another punch out from Garces. That'll be his third of the game. And in steps Eduardo De Olio.
Great pitching so far from both sides. And I know Cardoso wants that one back, but I did call it fastball outside, exactly what Garces needed, and he made it work for him.
You did call it, partner. You also mentioned that this game is going to come down to the longevity of the starting pitchers and see really who has the better performance between the two of them, as De Olio smokes one out to Mackie Broda, as he's going to make a nice play. He had to stop the ball first, and then just was a little quicker in the end than Eduardo De Olio, so De Olio grounds out after singling in his first at-bat.
That is not an easy play there for the first baseman. Took a weird hop off the edge of the grass there and kind of handcuffed him. Was able to pick it up and make the play, as you said, but that was not an easy look for him.
That ball was coming in quickly.
And had he not got to the bag, I don't think Garces was there in time to get De Olio out. De Olio ran really well down the line there.
So back now, Byron Reichstein, as the first two are sacked quickly again for the Majors. Strike one call on Reichstein.
We've talked about the pitch count for Arias. Garces has done just as well. He's still under 25 pitches by our count. So both pitchers could go deep into this one if this keeps up.
Impressive on the mound so far and sound defensively across the board.
And we kind of expected it. These are two of the top pitchers in the league and definitely top pitchers on their team. So not necessarily a shock, but they've really impressed so far.
That one was a little bit outside, so it's a 1-1 to Reichstein, 2-1 to Reichstein with two outs. An opportunity to punch out another one and the inning as he gets a nice pitch outside. He tried to catch the ball, but got a little bit too far ahead of him. So count it 2-2 now.
Reichstein going to need to make some two-strike magic here if he wants to extend this inning and give Plas an opportunity. Garces trying to reset after dropping that ball. That might have caught him awkwardly, too.
It looked like it did. So the 2-2 with two outs. On the bottom of the fourth, swung on and hit well and high. A toss-up, but the catcher will get it in the end. Hayden Jacko makes the play. Sits down Byron Reichstein, and just like that, the inning is over. So really quickly through the first four, it's all square between the Majors and the Baycats. And Dominican dynamite on the mound all around. When we come back, Barrie Baycats back at bat. You're watching Majors TV with Ty White and Nick McVicker.
If there's guys on base, I'm trying to create the situation in my head. Corey Hunter taught me that. Create it in your mind, where you're throwing the ball, what you're doing in this situation. When it happens, you're just reacting. Defense, you can always make a play. You always have an opportunity. You never know what ball's going to get hit to you. It's always a good feeling when you're running down balls for your pitcher. You look forward to running balls and robbing home runs. Nothing more satisfying than making a dive play or a big play.
Welcome to Labatt Park in London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at labattparktours.ca.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park. The Barrie Baycats taking on the London Majors. As the score zeros all across the board through the first four innings, now into the fifth. Now, both these teams sit at 6-2 in the standings, and that's impressive on the side of the Baycats, considering that they're without some considerable talent.
Yeah, they're actually out without one of their top infielders. Royce Ando has not played a game yet this season. I do have word that he is going to play on Sunday for them. This guy is an unbelievable batter, but even better defensively. He batted in the playoffs last year in 11 games. 413 was tops in the entire IBL playoffs, and in the regular season in 12 games, he had a 346 average. So you know he's got some talent, and you know that they're going to want him back in the lineup.
So Ryan Rijo's going to pop one out that lands inside the glove of Caden Cardoso. And another quick out, a fly out, and if memory serves me correct, Rijo was out on one pitch that was swung on in his first at-bat, so his second fly out of the game. As Hayden Jacko checking back in now.
This time he got it a little bit further. You put it into play. The last one was caught by the catcher, so he's making progress, slowly but surely out into the field.
Slowly getting out there. Jacko coming back in. We'll also see Nolan Macabroda after him. Arias' pitch, fastball upstairs, called for ball 1. Also interesting to note, no movement whatsoever in either of the dugouts so far. In the bullpen so far, I should say. So the pitchers being heavily relied on in this one. We're going to check first base umpire. He will call a strike. So they count it 1-1.
Yeah, that bunt attempt a little bit hard to hold up when you're bunting, so easy call for the first base umpire there. There are some majors down in the majors pen, but no one really warming up in this one, so something to keep an eye on, as we said.
That ball outside from Arias, low and outside. Ball number 2, count it 2-1. Jaco 0 for 1 on the day, flew out in his last at bat. Fastball is downstairs in the basement for 3-1.
Yeah, he flew out to center field last time. Actually had some decent contact on that one, but just got it up there too high. Probably had the best opportunity outside of Ijo for this Baycat team so far.
Jaco, a great catcher for this Baycats team that should make a playoff run this year, as he's going to butt one right up. Tommy Reyes-Cruz racing across to make the play in the end, and he had to travel a long way, being that shortstop, coming basically in between the mound and second base, but makes the play in the end off a tricky ground ball flying towards him.
Yeah, that was not an easy one, right up the middle, not hit very hard. He had to come a long way from his starting position, but does end up making the play down the line. Jaco, not exactly the fleetest of foot player for the Baycats. No stolen bases on the year. There's a reason for that.
Yes. But it was a tricky ball in the end. Still a nice play had to be made. As former man from the Minnesota Twins organization checks back in, Macabroda. Grounded out in his first at bat. Batting 6th in the Baycats order. As Arias trying to sit down another one with 2 outs. Another quick 2 outs in the top of the 5th.
Yeah, the 24-year-old Macabroda has some talent, obviously. We're getting into the Twins organization. He's batting pretty well this year, just around the 333 mark coming into the game. So, you know, he can get back to ball really easily. He just hasn't done it so far today. That was his best swing.
Decent swing, and it's going to be fouled off hard and behind him. So Arias ahead in the count 1-2. With an opportunity for another strikeout here. Already has 5. High and outside fastball.
Just a little outside.
Count at 2 apiece. Nice and even coming towards Macabroda.
That was for all our Major League fans in listening in today.
Fairly common phrase, I think I've heard a few times before. My dad likes to use that one as it's slammed by Macabroda. A bouncer is right towards Cardoso, who calls off. Arias for an easy out there at the first base. Cardoso punches out. Macabroda sits down again, so his second ground out of the evening. And the Majors stay clean through the first 5. We've seen a great display of pitching so far, and even better fielding from the Majors team.
And ever since that first Ijo hit, and they got him caught stealing, as we've said many times, still has only faced the minimum Arias has. So that's a great signal for the Majors that they're getting really good pitching, and I see nothing wrong with letting him go until he can't anymore. He's playing so well right now. On the flip side, Garces doing just as well. He hasn't necessarily faced the minimum, but the 3 hits he's given up haven't resulted in a run. He's gotten 3 Ks as well. Pitching really well, keeping the pitch count down. Both pitchers doing fantastic. And as you mentioned, the defense behind them has been stellar.
Garces currently sitting at about 25 pitches on the evening. He still has no earned runs against. Pitching well, good defense on the Baycats side also. For the Majors, Victor Plaz will step back in, followed by Gibson Krasminski and Tristan Osika.
And halfway through this game, still zeros on the board for either side other than the hit column. So, both the Majors and the Baycats are going to want to capitalize on the first opportunity they can. And let's see if the Majors can do it in the bottom half of the fifth here.
The Majors have 3 hits to their name. Barrie only 1. And something else to mention for the side of the Majors, they are without the talents of Cleveland Brownlee this evening, the longest tenured Major, and a fan favorite around here at Labatt Memorial Park. He's helping his son out this weekend, so will not be able to join the Majors team. So I imagine some sad faces around Labatt Memorial Park wanting to see one of their favorite players. Let's see if the Majors can do well in his honor tonight. The furthest they've got is Caden Cardoso reaching third base as Victor Plaz takes a hard swing. Was well ahead of that one. Ends down 0-1.
And Cardoso got to third base, and Plaz struck out when he was on third. So he's going to want to bounce back and try to do something to help the side.
Another hard swing from Plaz. So he's quickly down 0-2. They're going to say he got a piece of it, though, I believe, Nick.
It sounded like he did for sure, so either way, it's a strike.
Caught smoothly by Jaco in the end as he will pop this one into the right area, shallow right field, and the run's going to be made by Ricky Phillips to get the out there, and sits down Victor Plaz.
Yeah, another quick pitch there. I don't know if you saw that. Garces doing that quick pitch on when he's up 2-0 in the count, or 0-2 in the count. That's the second time we've seen it. It's something to keep an eye on because he didn't do a very good job the first time. That second one was a great pitch.
So we'll keep an eye out for the quick pitch as a tactic that has been used favorably by Garces. Has done great so far. So 1 out in the bottom of the fifth here as Kresminski back in now. Taking strike 1 looking.
Kuzminski not a power hitter necessarily, and he doesn't strike out a lot either. Only 2 strikeouts on the season coming into the game. But as I mentioned in his last at-bat, 6 walks, as he does not like the call there on the second strike.
Kuzminski grounded out in his last at-bat. He's going to swing at that one, but fouls it off down the left field side. So keeps himself alive, down 0-2 quickly, and only 1 out.
Yeah, he also came up with runners on second and third and crushed the ball to center field. Just didn't have enough of it and got a little bit under it as well. Center fielder able to get under that one, but he had a pretty good contact. So if he can maybe straighten it out a little bit, get a little less under it, he could get back on base.
This one is swung on, but it's going to make his way slowly. A bouncing ball, though, to Kyle Maves. Over to Macabroda, and the Majors are down 2 in the bottom of the fifth.
So maybe I need to specify. He still needs to get under it a little bit. Grounding out, not the way to go, but a good contact on that one. He needs to just find the middle ground between his 2 at-bats, and he should be good for the team.
So Tristan Osika back in now for his second at-bat.
Got a nice single to right field over the second baseman's head in his first at-bat of the game.
And then for strike 1 from Garces.
As mentioned, a new player to the side. They really want to give him opportunities, and this is a guy who has the talent coming down from college down in the States. So first hit as a Major was in his last at-bat. Let's see what he can do in his second at-bat today.
Osika quickly down 0-2. And Garces looking for another punch-out. Potentially his 4th of the game if he's able to connect here.
Didn't like the ball there. I haven't seen him do that. He's always checking the ball every time he gets a new one, but that one he really did not like. I wonder what was going on with that.
And we'll keep an eye for the quick pitch here, as you mentioned before, Nick. An 0-2 scenario. But he's going to take his time on this one. The 0-2 to Osika. He's going to foul that one off into the right field area. So no Major really other than Starling Joseph has had a belting hit heard around the ballpark here.
And it didn't even count as a hit. It's very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate indeed, but the Majors looking to improve now as that one in the dirt too low. But a nice catch in the end to avoid a wild pitch.
Great job there by Jaco to catch that one, because if the batter's smart, takes a quick swing and runs down to first on the drop third strike.
So 1-2, 2 outs. Osika still alive here. Garza's taking his time, and we will get a timeout. Osika taking a second for himself.
There's been a few well-hit balls, nothing as big as Joseph, as you mentioned, but just they can't string a ton of hits together. There's the quick pitch again, and Osika just grounds this one to second.
A dribbler over to Kyle Maves. Again over to Matt Cabrota. And Tristan Osika is sat down. So scoreless now officially through the first 5. We've seen prolific pitching from the both Dominican pitchers. They've done extremely well so far. Will anyone be able to get in there for a run? We'll find out when we come back. You're watching Majors TV.
Get suited up with us for our big night. We went to Collins Clothiers. They had suits and tuxedos in various colors and styles. The staff helped us pick exactly what we wanted. They custom fit our suits for the perfect fit. They even matched us to our date's dress. It was so much fun trying on suits with the boys on the VIP night. They even got us pizza while we tried clothes on.
The prom kids, of course, are going to be the best dressed.
We felt so confident and looked amazing.
Out. Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park. We're scoreless through the first 5. We've seen some incredible pitching as Jose Arias will continue to stay on the mound, and we just saw some fun festivities here inside Labatt Memorial Park. And an interesting scoreboard around the IBL so far. As we mentioned, the Maple Leafs playing the Cardinals. That one tied at 4 apiece, but I'll let you take this one away here, Nick. Most interestingly is the score down in Brantford.
Yeah, the game that means the most to both of the teams here outside of, this game. Guelph trailing the Brantford Red Sox 2-0 in the top of the third. That is a huge score right now at Arnold Anderson Stadium. And you mentioned the Maple Leafs and Cardinals 4-4. They took all the runs from our game and just threw them over there. It's only the bottom of the third, and they're already 4-4.
So great games around the league on this Friday night. There are a plethora of games tomorrow, and then again on Sunday, as this Majors team will be in Barrie. For little Shears, Diolio will make the run. It's going to drop in front of him. He's going to probably want it back. Just missed it by a matter of inches. And we're back. Ricky Phillips at bat.
I think he thought that one was going to hit the netting there. He pulled up last minute and ended up dropping right between him and the netting. So definitely one Diolio would like another opportunity to do, but they already got Phillips down 2 strikes early in this at bat.
Phillips at 0-2. He struck out in his first outing.
And again, still under 40 pitches for Arias going into the 6th is fantastic.
That one sliding in for a strike, and he's going to punch out his man. Ricky Phillips sat down off the gorgeous slider from Jose Arias. Dominican Dynamite throws heat towards the plate, and the Majors continue their onslaught of incredible tosses.
And the Baycats continue their dislike for the strike zone.
Another complaint towards the home plate umpire.
Phillips was very, very animated. I'm surprised he didn't get more than just a talking to by the ump.
Phillips, back-to-back strikeouts.
Back-to-back strikeouts,
Looking as well, as that one's in there. Zach Orchard steps back in. Struggling a little this year, as you mentioned, on the plate.
Just hasn't had a whole lot of opportunities, Orchard.
In left field as well, as that fastball is high for Marias.
He's actually done well at the plate in his 5 at-bats. He's 2 hits, so just needs some more opportunities. 2 strikeouts, though, in 5 at-bats is not ideal.
A ball that was nearly swung on. The first base umpire is going to say no in the end. So they count it 2-1, and still no action in the Majors bullpen. They're liking Arias so far. As we mentioned, he's very much the Majors ace this season.
We do have some action in the Barrie bullpen. We'll see if we can get a number to keep an eye on, but there's movement down there.
If we use your number, it'll be a lot more clear on the back of the jersey than if the Majors had a man warming up. They mentioned these camo jerseys, although beautiful, a little bit tough to see the numbers on the back. As the 3-1, a fastball high upstairs, and it's going to be the first walk this evening, I believe, for either team. Zach Orchard makes his way after a nice at-bat to first base.
Only the second base runner here for the Baycats, so you know they're going to want to try to get something going with runners on.
Carson Burns back again to the bottom of the Baycats order. He struck out in his first at-bat. Playing shortstop for Barrie this evening.
And he is one of the 4 Barrie Baycats who has grounded into a double play. They've only grounded into 5 double plays in their 8 games this season. So they don't do it very often, but he unfortunately is one of the guys who has.
That one was called for a strike, 0-1. Only 1 out at the top of the 6th, and Zach Orchard comfortable on first. He has a decent lead off there.
And there was actually a ball in the first pitch, just a little bit outside, and that one gets away from DiOlio, so Orchard gets down to second without a throw.
Not even an attempt there as the wild pitch got behind Eduardo DiOlio, so we'll keep an eye on Orchard. He's sitting on second now. Smart heads-up play just to make his way over, and didn't have to run particularly quick to do so either.
Not at all. First wild pitch of the game for either team as well, so now we're starting to see some movement down towards the Majors bullpen. All of them are wearing hoodies too, so you can't even see the number if we wanted to.
Ari is sitting at around 40 pitches now, 40 plus.
Just over 40 pitches, so.
As a tough situation here, down 3-0 is Arias. So we'll see if Burns has the green light to take a big swing at anything, or if he just wants to comfortably walk over to first.
Well, if I'm the Baycats, I probably wouldn't give him the green. That's 7 balls in the last 8 pitches. I know he throws a strike there, but Arias has had trouble in this inning finding the strike zone.
You can only think that amazing set of pitching that we've seen so far will dwindle down as the game moves on. We've only seen one really absolutely almost perfect pitching outing. That was a little while ago from Jose Vasquez as this ball is ripped down the right field side and well out.
That was his hardest hit ball by the Baycats.
That was very quick. That one was on a rope, so you had to keep your head up there if you were down in that right field area.
Thankfully, it cleared the stands, headed towards the trees out and right.
Landed safely in the grass. So a 3-2 now. After down 3-0, a chance for a punch out on a full count here. Looking for a 6th strikeout of the night, Arias. The 3-2 is inside. Too far inside, and looked at one the whole way through Carson Burns. So nice eye there on the plate to make his way over for a walk. Back-to-back walks. And now the Baycats have 2 on.
And there's about 4 players down in the Majors bullpen, but nobody warming up yet. Just kind of walking around each other at the moment.
They're just chilling. They're letting Arias do his thing, but he only has 1 out here, so double play opportunity perhaps as Canisijo's back in there. and the top of the Baycats order. He's 1 for 2 on the day with a single back in his first at bat. A ball dropping in nicely, a sliding breaking ball.
Good pitch to get ahead there.
Arias still has a bunch of nasty stuff in his locker, and he'll need to use some of the different stuff in his arsenal as this one progresses and batters continue to come back and face him.
North of 50 pitches already today, and there's another good pitch, just a little low, and it looked like he may have gotten a swing, but he didn't.
Arias wants the appeal to the first base
and
umpire.
He gets it.
And he will get the call from Bob Blake. So the first time something was overturned this evening. And 0-2 now. Has some differentiating pinions around the ground. We also see some rain starting to fall down now very clearly. It's a bit of an onpour here, but hopefully nothing that will delay the game.
Don't say that. Don't say rain. I don't like that word.
Well, hope doesn't make too much of an impact on the game. Arias' pitch. Fastball low. So the count at 2-2 now.
You see some movement in the crowd as well as the rain does start, so it's never a good sign.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that, as it's kind of been on and off all evening here. Arias, a ball that was sliding a little bit too low, had a bit of movement on it. Count evens itself out at 2 apiece. 2 men on. Zach Orchard at first, Carson Burns at first, Zach Orchard at second.
Coming up on 60 pitches here for Arias, who is not having his best inning of the day.
So Arias, a fastball down low, and the count will go to full.
He's getting almost close to 20 pitches this inning. With 2 walks, the strikeout in the first batter, and now he's 3-2 against Ijo right now.
And he's hearing it from the Majors fans, trying to get this strikeout here, vitally important, or else the bases will be loaded for the Baycats. The 3-2 from Arias. Fastball swung on and fouled off hard and behind into the netting here. So the count stays at full. Ijo keeps himself alive.
Arias really battling in this inning, something that we haven't seen him have to do all game. 2 runners on, only 1 out. He's got a lot of work to do to get out of this inning for the Majors if he is going to get out of the inning. No one really warming up, so they're hoping that he can.
Count still at full to Ijo. The offering from Arias, a fastball.
In the dirt.
In the dirt indeed, so that will load the bases for the Baycats. And we'll see if anyone comes out on the mound here to give a talk to Arias. It looks like DeOlio is just going to say a few words to him, as that is the 3rd walk in a row now from Arias. And it looks like pitching coach Brent Wales will make his way over to the mound to talk things over with Arias, who's done very, very well through the first 5. Now struggling in the top of the 6th. So what can you do here, Nick, if you are Arias?
Well, he's going up against Maves, who has struck out twice today. So he's had the upper hand in this matchup all day. I think you just have to go with your best pitch. Get one in there, get it started. If you can get ahead, that always puts you in a good spot. Maves has put a couple good swings on the ball, hasn't been able to put anything in play. But if you're going to get the opportunity, you really need to get ahead in the count with your best pitch and throw something you are comfortable throwing. So if I'm Arias, I'm just throwing my favorite pitch and hoping to get it over the plate.
So the bases are loaded. Jose Arias in a jam here at the top of the 6th. Now he does have an opportunity with 1 out for potentially a double play somewhere. So we'll keep an eye to see if the Majors defense can turn anything, as we officially do have some action for the first time this evening in the Majors bullpen. We'll try to get a number for you shortly. But for now, Kyle Maves against Jose Arias. He will take a swing on the first pitch
Well, he got ahead. Wasn't maybe what he wanted to do, but he got ahead.
He certainly did. London fans trying to make things a little bit more favorable for their home team here and warm them up, especially Arias, with some noise. The 0-1 in the dirt. As you can see, that ball could have easily gone in there for a wild pitch, so DeOlio had to stop it promptly as Zach Orchard was eager to get to home.
He's a lefty warming up in the bullpen for the Majors right now, so we'll try to get you the name of that warm-up pitcher in a second.
So 1-1 count to Kyle Maves.
As the rain's starting to come down a little bit heavier now.
Definitely pouring in there as that one swung on, but right into the glove. It did get a piece of it, it sounded like. DeOlio hangs on to it. 1-2 count.
Speaking of pouring in, that was a great pitch poured right into the catcher's mitt.
As the rain is certainly coming down, the fans here at Labatt Memorial Park making their way under the covered area.
Trying to get into the covered area.
Arias fastball upstairs is outside. Count it 2-2. And remember, he cannot walk a Baycats player here without getting an earned run. So he's really got to keep the pitches under control in less than inclement weather.
Just an update, the Royals did pick up a run in the top of the fourth, so Guelph now trailing 2-1 in Brantford.
As that ball is outside off a fastball. Count is at full once again.
Big pitch here.
And a monumental pitch. Potential game-changing pitch here from Arias on the full count to Kyle Maves. He's struck him out twice already. Can he do so again and come up big here for the Majors?
Fans getting behind him here.
The 3-2. Arias. Fastball swung on.
Fouled into the parking lot.
Parking lot once again. With the rain, it was even carrying more so. So he keeps himself alive here, Kyle Maves. And it was a good swing from him to foul that one off. It was a fastball that was almost certainly going to be in there for a strike.
Kind of uppercut it. It almost looked like he was waiting for a wide pitch so he didn't have to swing, but
Arias, the full count, swung on and strikes him out. Sits down Kyle Maves for the third time in a row and saves the Majors there from getting an earned run against, and that would have opened the scoring if he had walked Kyle Maves there. Cool and calm under pressure, Arias. That's his sixth strikeout of the game.
Not out of danger yet, but that definitely is a big help. Puts 2 outs on the board. Now a fly ball does not score a run. The Baycats are going to either need to get a hit or Odd has to get on base.
So we'll see what happens here. After walking 3 in a row, he sits down one there as another big swing from Adam Odd. Down 0-1.
Big swing might be an understatement. He was going for it all with that swing.
Trying to hit it yard.
Almost fell out of his shoes.
The Jose chants raining in with the rain. Another big swing.
Fantastic pitch inside. Not a whole lot anyone can do with that one when it's down by your shoelaces, but he still gets the swing anyway out of Odd. Arias doing a great job since getting to the 3-2 count with Maves. 4 really, really strong pitches, and now he's up 0-2 on Odd.
So what an opportunity here. After crawling back with only 1 out, and the bases are still loaded. Arias in there. That one will be hit, and it makes its way into left field past Starling Joseph. 1 already scored, 2 will score, a third potentially around to score. Ijo is in there. So a 3 RBI double for Adam Odd, who wallops open the scoreboard with a nice hit. Too far for Starling Joseph. And the Baycats quickly up 3-0 over the Majors.
And he does a little bit of the heartbreaker celebration at second base after that double. A great hitter's hit. Does a good job forcing it to the opposite field and finds a little bit of a gap. Starling Joseph doing his best to get there. Dives, just can't come up with it, which probably in the end cost the Majors a couple runs. If he's able to just catch that ball off the ground, only 1 run's getting in on that one.
Now perhaps a bit slower running in the outfield because of the heavy rain here. Never know for sure, as that ball was a nasty slider inside. Almost buckled Rio completely. And it was just nasty stuff coming off, giving up 3 runs there. So Arias still trying to stay calm. 2 outs. Not an insurmountable amount as Rio rips another one close to a fan down that right field side. Another one on a rope.
As the umpires forgot that they needed to switch back with only a runner on second base, so they make that switch now. Up 0-2 here, though. Arias trying to get out of this.
He was almost out of the woods, but not quite yet, as that one dribbled back right to him off the hit from Rio, and he'll flip it to first. A little bit disappointed at himself, though, as he will give up 3 runs off a tough at-bat with Adam Odd. He walked 3 in a row and then crawled his way back, but Odd shreds open the scoring here in the 6th inning. The Baycats lead 3-0 as we check in downfield side with Justin Koehler.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about starter Jose Arias. He's had a bit of a rough inning just this past inning, giving up 3 runs. But apart from that, it was a pretty strong showing across the board for him so far. GM and co-owner Roop Chandradat says even though he's been improving, he still isn't right from where he was in the 2022 season, where he set a franchise record in strikeouts. Prior to the game, he started with a 5.10 ERA, 15 strikeouts, but has given up 16 hits so far. All that being said, Roop is incredibly confident that Arias will get to the exact point that he was in 2022, as he says, quote, he is the hardest working player on the team. And so, without further ado, let's send it back up to Ty and Nick in the Game Day London press box to continue with the bottom of the 6th.
Thanks so much for that update, Justin. And interesting decision to come from Roop Chandradat and Brent Wales. Do they keep Arias out on the mound, or is it finally time to switch him out?
I would think after giving up the 3 runs and having a lefty warm up the entire 6th inning, it's probably the end of Arias' day, but we'll see. There's no guarantee. And with the middle to bottom part of the order coming up, they may let him go back out there because he has pitched really well outside of the 3 walks.
So his counterpart, Frank Garces, still on the mound. Now in his 6th inning, pitching well so far, has allowed 0 runs through the first 6. Showing why he was a former IBL Pitcher of the Year and a first-team All-Star as well back in 2023, just last season.
And it's interesting to note, Garces doesn't do the normal warm-up that you would see from most pitchers. He throws about 5 or 6 from behind the mound before taking 1 real pitch on the mound and then throwing a nice lob one in for the last pitch of the warm-up. It's interesting to watch how these kind of pitchers go about their warm-up because everyone's a little bit different. That's an interesting one from Garces.
So Garces' style's paid off for him thus far, as Champ Gardner 0 for 2 on the day back in, giving this Majors lineup a tough time as that swing was nowhere near the ball. A nice pitch from Garces, a bit out in front of it there was Gardner in the end, and that fastball high. 2 quick pitches.
Garces not wasting any time here to start the bottom of the 6th.
Count at 1-1. Now down 1-2 after that fastball swung on by Gardner.
Gardner looking to do what he did in the first inning, get the ball out of the infield. He popped up to the pitcher last at bat. Evens the count at 2-2.
He's a fast player if he can get on base or make something happen. He'll have an opportunity to show his speed here. That play looked routine in the end from Carson Burns, but wasn't a guaranteed out in the end, so he made a nice play, the shortstop there. And the Majors have 1 down already.
I want to talk about that because it almost looked like Gardner pulled up on his run. If he ran through that bag, he's safe. That was not the best throw from the shortstop. I think Gardner's safe if he runs through that bag.
If you're looking at home, you can definitely take a look back at that and rewind. Fast play in the end here, but we just heard potentially Gardner could have got on base there as this one is ripped to the first baseman. A bouncing ball, but McAbrota makes the play. In the end, sits down Tommy Reyes-Cruz, so Majors sat down back-to-back there. Gardner and Reyes-Cruz with Starling Joseph coming back out now.
And that second ground out for Reyes-Cruz to the first baseman in 3 at-bats. Not ideal for the Majors to start an inning after giving up 3 runs. You know they wanted to come out and try to extend the inning a bit, but good opportunity here for Garces because he wants to get the hot bats back up to bat. I know they really only had 1 hit to get those 3 runs, but you know they want to get back into the batter's box.
So if someone can change the course of events here for the Majors, Starling Joseph definitely is that man. Now has the potential to do some big things here as he takes a gargantuan swing. Brings him off the plate.
Yeah, Joseph doesn't exactly swing light, does he?
Definitely swinging for the fences. Could pay off here.
Update in one of the other games, the Hamilton Cardinals have taken the lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-4 in the... They got that run in the 4th. Oh my goodness, through the fence.
As you have to watch out here. That's why we have disclaimers on the tickets, because that one was hammered backwards, made its way through the netting, and dangerously dropped right in front of us. It looked like it was coming directly towards us here, Nick.
Yeah, thankfully it hit the walkout area, not where the fans are sitting, so lucky for everybody involved.
Was that fastball low and away?
The rain continues to pour down.
It is pouring down tremendously hard all over the field.
The pitcher who was warming up for the Majors had to put a jacket on.
Down at 2-2 as Joseph will poke one out on the right field side. It drops in front of Ricky Phillips, and he gets a single to his name. So the Majors not down and out yet in this 6th inning as Starling Joseph earns himself a single. Caden Cardoso, 1 for 2 on the day. Single and a strikeout. As the Caden Cardoso chants rain in from the Majors faithful. I think rain a very appropriate word right now, as you can see from the cameras.
4 singles for the Majors so far in this game, are actually leading the game in hits, but down 3-0 in the category that counts.
That one in there for strike 1 from the pitch from Garces. Doing a tremendous job so far. Still no movement. And the Baycats dugout. I'll check with the umpire and says Cardoso didn't go.
They did have someone up and throwing, but not necessarily warming up earlier. So might just be they're really happy with Garces, or maybe it's the rain that just pulled the player in a little bit earlier than he wanted to.
The rain has certainly sat people down, kept them quiet, as that ball was carrying across the plate. Still 0-2 though, and a nice look from Cardoso.
So we can see some fans right behind the plate in the first few rows. They're not fully covered, so they're trying to get back a little bit.
On a fight through the rain. As Cardoso rips one into the left field side, this will carry back, and what a catch in the end from the Baycats member. Wow, that was Zach Orchard with a beautiful one-handed snag. He was moving all the way back, had to make a fairly long run for it over his shoulder, but made the play in the end and will retire the Majors side. What a fantastic job from him, and that calmly sits down the Majors. So once again, Garces escapes without a single run against, and the Majors scoreless through the first 6. When we come back, Barrie trying to continue to add on to their lead. And we'll update you on the field with potential rain delay coming up. We'll let you know when we come back. You're watching MajorsTV with Ty White and Nick McVicker.
Hello, my name is Jim Nuther with Nuther's White Store. Come along with me on a virtual tour to take a look at our amazing products and services that we're able to provide to you to help you with your recreation needs.
Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park, where we're going to slow things down here as the game has been delayed for the time being. The rain is pouring down here extremely hard, and you can see the tarps out over top of the mound, and it's going to be covering home plate as well. So the weather getting the better of the situation here in downtown London.
And it's funny because you and me are both from the Toronto area, Ty. We both had to come through the rain to get here. I went through 3 pockets of it on my 2.5-hour drive. Not ideal, but it's been raining all day in southern Ontario, so not unexpected, unfortunately.
Not unexpected, but what we can do for the time being is talk about how great the Majors, or sorry, I should say the Baycats have been so far. Some great pitching as we'll bring in Justin Koehler here. Justin, the Baycats have been doing well so far, and this rain is actually doing them a bit of a favor here.
They really have, indeed. Up until that last inning, it was really a good pitcher duel, which is my favorite style of game to see by far. So it's tough to see the Baycats up, but it's still been a very close match so far. And we'll see how things maybe change. It might be a good thing for the Majors' perspective, having a bit of a rain delay here, having that time to kind of recuperate, talk a little bit, come up with a new game plan, and go from there to see how they can tackle this pitcher.
So we'll certainly update you on the situation here. It's definitely fluid at Labatt Memorial Park, but currently through the first 6 innings, the Majors are trailing to the Barrie Baycats by a score of 3-0. You're watching Majors TV with Ty White, Nick McVicker, and Justin Koehler. We'll see if the game continues when we come back.
Welcome to Labatt Park in London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at labattparktours.ca.
Get suited up with us for our big night. We went to Collins Clothiers. They had suits and tuxedos in various colors and styles. The staff helped us pick exactly what we wanted. They custom fit our suits for the perfect fit. They even matched us to our date's dress. It was so much fun trying on suits with the boys on the VIP night. They even got us pizza while we tried clothes on.
The prom kids, of course, are going to be the best dressed.
We felt so confident and looked amazing.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Hello, my name is Jim Nuther with Nuther's The Award Store. Come along with me on a virtual tour to take a look at our amazing products and services that we're able to provide to you to help you with your recreation needs.
On the scores and get to know the athletes who call the Forest City home.
Joseph crushes one.
Game Day London brings you in-depth stories and conversations about London's major teams and the athletes. Whether it's in the rink with the Knights or on the field with the Majors, Game Day London has you covered from the start. For fresh and engaging sports coverage, visit GameDayLondon.com, a proud sponsor of MajorsTV.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park, where we're currently experiencing a rain delay, some inclement weather here. Downtown London at the fork of the Thames here. The Barrie Baycats in town currently leading the Majors 3-0. Things resume, but we've got a special guest in the Game Day London broadcast booth. I'm joined here by Alumni Association member Rick Corner. Rick, it's a pleasure to be with you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking me up.
Of course. So how have you enjoyed the game so far? Obviously not the ideal score or weather in this one, but a good spirit here still around the ground.
Well, I was happy that the first half of the game exactly was 1 hour. So that's almost like MLB's doing it now.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago we came and it was like 10-11 we left and it was like the 7th inning. So,
so definitely on pace, or was on pace to end rather in time here. So unfortunate how things have panned out. Hopefully we'll get some more action shortly. But you're a part of the Alumni Association for the London Majors. So can you talk a little bit about that and what your role is?
Well, we try to put memorabilia together, have it on display in the old clubhouse here. We've been doing that for a few years now. Try to participate in the tours that they have at the park when they ask us and so on. Just have a committee, do special days every year. July 1st, we're doing one this year. A couple big presentations that day. We're going to retire a couple people's, put them in the Hall of Fame type of thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's on July 1st, you mentioned?
July 1st,
So
yes.
a special celebration for alumni on Canada Day here, Labatt Memorial Park. Make sure you come to that one. Should be fun. And you're a former member of the London Majors team, is that correct?
Yes, I had the lucky to play here for 1 year back in 77.
77.
Yeah, I'm a Sarnia guy, and they asked me to come down, and didn't get a whole lot of action, but I came down for 1 year.
And you were on the roster.
I was.
And here you are years later. So, and how long have you been a member of the Alumni Association for?
Yeah, I want to say about 7-8 years now.
7-8 years?
Yep.
So a long time running, nearing a decade there.
Yes.
And a proud member of the London Majors organization. The final send-off here, what can you say specifically about the Majors playing at such an historic grounds at Labatt Memorial Park? And on top of that, we're celebrating 100 years of baseball in London.
It's absolutely awesome. It's a great atmosphere here. Great to come to games. We come to all the games, my wife and I. Beautiful park. Everybody's treated so well. Lots of giveaways for people. Kids run the bases. It's just a fabulous atmosphere.
Great atmosphere indeed. So thank you so much, Rick, for sitting down with us in the Game Day London broadcast booth. We will continue to check on the situation here in Labatt Memorial Park. The London Majors trailing the Baycats 3-0 with the rain delay still ensuing. We'll get back to you shortly. Ty White, you're watching Majors TV.
Welcome to Labatt Park in London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book your guided tour at labattparktours.ca.
Get suited up with us for our big night. We went to Collins Clothiers. They had suits and tuxedos in various colors and styles. The staff helped us pick exactly what we wanted. They custom fit our suits for the perfect fit. They even matched us to our date's dress. It was so much fun trying on suits with the boys on the VIP night. They even got us pizza while we tried clothes on.
For prom kids, of course, are going to be the best dressed.
We felt so confident and looked amazing.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park, where the rain delay appears to be coming to an end. You're still watching Majors TV. Ty White and Nick McVicker on the call, so don't go anywhere, as we're going to stick around, as this one should be resuming shortly. We'll hopefully be back with you soon with London Majors Baseball. They trail the Baycats 3-0 through the first 6. When we come back, hopefully 7th inning action. Don't go anywhere, folks.
in London, Ontario, the world's oldest baseball grounds. Now through Labor Day, book your guided tour and walk the same field as Ty Cobb, Fergie Jenkins, Honus Wagner, and some of baseball's most legendary players. View artifacts from over the years inside the original 1940 clubhouse. Experience baseball history in London, Ontario. Book
My
your
name is
guided
Amy,
tour
and I am
at
a league member at
labattparktours.ca.
When I first started, I had no experience and was super nervous. But before I knew it, the awesome lane coaches and the other league members who are like family jumped in, gave me pointers, and helped me out. Don't forget to book your event at Throw London.
Welcome back inside Labatt Memorial Park. The rain delay officially over, and we will resume baseball here. The Baycats leading the Majors 3-0 through the first 6. And we have our first pitching change of the evening. All pitching changes are presented to you by Throw, London's original knife throwing. And it looks like number 25, Travis Keys, who started the last outing versus Welland, will be on the mound in relief.
Yeah, and he had a interesting outing in his last outing. 4 2/3 innings as a starter. Gave up 3 runs in that frame and struck out 7. But on the season, he leads the Majors in innings pitched with 20 1/3, and he also leads them in strikeouts with 19. So he gets about a strikeout an inning, and he's only given up 6 walks in that time frame as well. Very impressive. He started 3 games this year. This is his second relief appearance for the London side. And they're going to hope that he can shut down the Barrie Baycats because they got 3 runs in the last inning. While it was a little while ago, momentum is all on the Barrie side.
So Jose Arias, after north of 60 pitches for him, gets sat down and Keys in to relieve. Now, something you mentioned beforehand, Nick, that this one would eventually come down to whose pitching can outlast who. And it seems like the Baycats have the upper hand so far. As Hayden Jaco back in, takes strike 1 off the first pitch from Travis Keys. So Keys 1 for 1 so far.
And the final line there for Arias, 6 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and 6 Ks. So not a bad performance, but does leave in line for the loss.
As this one is belted out to left field and caught in the end. Pretty routine play, not a fast run across from Starling Joseph, but a quick fly out from Jaco. So 1 down for the Majors in the top of the 7th, and that's exactly what they need from Travis Keys. Just a couple of quick sit-downs here.
Strong throwing lefty. A little bit of a different look from the righty Arias, who, again, I don't think he pitched poorly. The 3 walks really killed him in a row.
Looks like that could be potentially a game-deciding 3 walks in a row. Is that one in there for strike 1? Keys doing well so far. As this is Nolan Macabrota, grounded out twice. So 0 for 2 on the day, and he's playing first base for the Baycats. Gets a piece of that one.
Don't think he wanted to, but he did.
And it's quickly 0-2.
A little bit of a check swing bunt to the left side in foul territory. Was not really a close pitch either, so Macabrota not happy with himself on the check.
The 0-2 swung on and hammered back foul into the netting behind home plate.
Actually made its way up the netting and through the netting into the fans area. So a few kids went running after it as it hit the ground.
It just crawled its way outside.
Didn't want to play anymore.
But Macabrota keeps himself alive. 0-2. Swung on and missed. So another punch out for the Majors. Their 7th of the day, the first for Travis Keys. Sits 2 down within 6 pitches.
And that was not a very convincing swing there from Macabrota. He's very disappointed in himself as he read the pitch right, but he didn't read it fast enough and he couldn't catch up. Also, update, there is nobody warming up in the Barrie Baycats bullpen right now.
Yes.
So we may see Garces coming out for the bottom of the 7th, even after the rain delay.
baseball again at last. We were making good pace as the the member of the Alumni Association, Rick Corner, pointed out. 7 innings in about an hour, on pace with lots of the major league games nowadays. That's what he said. So we were moving pretty steadily and slowed down tremendously with that rain delay.
But at the same time, it's still just
As
2
this
hours
one
in.
Is smoke that's going to go back to the warning track. It'll hit the wall. And rounding second is Ricky Phillips, thinking about a triple, and he's going to make his way over to third. The throw not in time. So a rare triple. The Baycats continuing their strong hitting through the last 2. And what a run all the way across from Ricky Phillips after he sweltered one.
And you know he's going to love that because he's been struggling at the plate this season. Getting a triple on your card is always positive, so he's going to be loving running those bases.
Great play from Ricky Phillips there. Definitely happy considering he's having a tough year thus far, and he's willed himself into scoring position with Zach Orchard back up at bat. He's 1 for 2 on the day. He had a walk earlier, and he was the first of 3 walks that really started a strong change of the tide in this game.
A walk and a strikeout on his ledger today.
This fastball is upstairs from Keys. And it'll be 2 strikes, or 2 balls, I should say, to no strikes. And Orchard has a chance to get another one in here to score for the Baycats. The 2-0. A fastball down the middle, 2-1.
And on the season, Keys only has 7 earned runs against and 7 runs total against. So you know he's going to want to keep that number at where it is at the moment. Don't want to add to that right now.
Another fastball, relatively down the middle, this time a little bit towards that right side. It was dropped at the right time, and it's going to be 2-2, count even, on top of the 7th. So a chance for another strikeout here for Keys. That ball way inside. Count moves to full.
Backed off Orchard a little bit. Might be looking to the outside on this next pitch after sending everything in.
So a chance for a much-needed strikeout here for the Majors to keep the damage at only 3, and that will be another walk. So Travis Keys ends up walking Zach Orchard. Corners are painted here as Ricky Phillips sits on third, and Zach Orchard just made his way over to first with Carson Burns on deck. He will step in now, and for the 3rd time today, we reached the bottom of the Baycats order.
And 2 Majors players starting to stretch out in the bullpen, and we do have a little bit of action in the Baycats pen, but no one's warming up yet necessarily.
That ball dropped in there, sliding across the plate. And it's a ball.
Some very rowdy fans trying to get in the umpire's ear.
Definitely. As Ricky Phillips still in scoring position after that nicely hit triple that reached the warning track. Ball's outside again, 2-0.
First lefty Keys has faced today, and so far not putting anything in the zone for them to hit.
You know, and Keys has to be careful here because 2 more balls will earn the Majors once again bases loaded against. This one smoked. It sounded really good off the bat, and a long run is required and made in the end. A beautiful catch from Champ Gardner, showing why he was the MVP of the game 2 games ago, and a fantastic play from him to retire the Baycats side and keep this London deficit at only 3. So the Majors can certainly have a good opportunity to come back now. 3's not too big of a lead for the Baycats.
Running out of time, though, and they really need to start getting players in scoring position and capitalizing. I know they got 2 early in the first inning on second and third respectively, but couldn't bring them in. Now you're really struggling here to get anything going, and it looks like Garces is back out on the mound. So what do they have to do to get going? I would say you got to be thinking swinging first pitch. He's been throwing a lot of strikes, and it's worked to his advantage. If you're the Majors, start getting ready to go up to bat, ready to hit. Don't wait for him to come to you.
So we'll see the approach here from Garces as he's done well. No runs against for the first 6 now in the bottom of the 7th. And I believe up for the Majors it will be Caden Cardoso.
Should be Diolio. Cardoso lined out to left field to end the 6th. He the last batter before the rain delay.
So Diolio followed by Reichstein and Plaz if nothing has changed.
We'll try to update you. The jerseys are not giving us the benefit of the doubt, unfortunately.
They're definitely not. But Garces, fantastic inning around that plus 50 pitch mark. And he's done well so far. And really so has the Baycats defense. We've seen actually across the board from both Barrie and London, fantastic defense, of course, for London apart from that 6th inning of play.
And even then, there wasn't necessarily a whole lot of bad defense. It was 3 walks that ended up doing them in. The one thing that may have been able to save them if Joseph didn't dive on that double to the left field corner, no, left field gap, I should say.
Yes.
If he just got behind that ball, it maybe would have limited the damage. But either way, the defense has been fantastic, as you mentioned, Ty.
So apart from that 1 slip up and the 3 walks from Arias, everyone been doing pretty well so far on the defensive side of the ball. Now Eduardo Diolio trying to change that, make the Baycats slip up here defensively. Batting .200 on the year. 3 homers, 7 hits, 6 runs, and 9 RBIs. First pitch, bit slower, high upstairs for ball 1. The 1-0 to Diolio, swung on. Watched it the whole way through, took a big hack at it. Count at 1 apiece.
Yeah, and with his hit in the first inning there, Ty, he actually was able to raise his batting average up to the 240 mark, which is fantastic on the season.
He's going to watch that one float by him, as you mentioned, 240 on the year now.
Yeah, not necessarily someone that they expect to have a high average, but he's got the power to bring guys in. Unfortunately, nobody on here to start the inning. As the quick pitch there, and Diolio's able to foul this one off.
After that, it's going to be fouled hard. And Fan with a nice one-handed catch.
Even the fans are getting involved in the good fielding.
The good fielding carrying all across Labatt Memorial Park tonight. Count it 2-2, though. Diolio keeping himself alive.
They really need him to get on base here, get something started.
They definitely need some offense here. It's going to be hit right to Carson Burns, though. Pretty routine throw across. Diolio made it closer play than it might have needed to be in the end, but nonetheless, Burns retires the first one in the 7th inning for the Baycats.
And a great job by Garces, who able to just force the ball down in the zone and get the ground out. A little chirping back and forth between him and Diolio as Diolio jogs back to the dugout. Not sure what that's about, whether it was friendly or not.
We've seen a lot of, I should say, not so friendly comments probably thrown towards the umpire tonight. A lot of stuff back and forth for both sides. We saw the box, and then we saw some controversial calls at the Majors dugout, questioning some decisions from the umpire tonight, who is on the crew chief, I should say, Rod Stevenson. And it actually saw, it saw Drew Lawrence tossed out of the game, which we didn't know at first, and no one actually really caught that up here.
Yeah, we didn't see it. The only reason we found out was Justin was down by the dugout and managed to see it happen. This one's grounded to first, and an easy play there for the first baseman, Macabrado.
So Reichstein now 0 for 3 on the day. And the Majors just can't seem to break the spell of Garces here, who is throwing gas towards them. Victor Plaz now back out there. He struck out in his first at-bat, flew out in his second. So 0 for 2 on the day. Pretty common in the Majors lineup thus far. The first offering to Plaz is swung on, and it will dribble past Adam Odd to calmly and safely see Victor Plaz waltz on to first base. The Majors really could have used that, but unfortunately for them, 2 outs already down and getting towards the bottom of the order, but nonetheless, nice to see a bit of offense from the Majors.
Yeah, and that one snuck through. I'm not sure how they're going to score it, as Odd probably should have been able to come up with that one. I'll be interested to see if they call that a single or an error, but got a man on now, and you got to do something with it. Plus, not exactly a super speedster, but he does have 2 stolen bases on the season, second on the team. So, and they're going to go play a little small ball here, a little bunt for single attempt,
and that was a perfect bunt. Absolutely perfect bunt from Gibson Kresminski, and just like that, the Majors have 2 on. Kresminski at first, Plaz at second. And we mentioned they could really use some offense. They got it right there, and an opportunity to potentially tie the game now as Tristan Osika steps out. 1 for 2 on the day, the bottom of the Majors order. But what a great opportunity to the fairly new London Major. I don't think I've seen a better bunt in my life there from Gibson Kresminski. That was perfect.
It was exactly what you needed in that situation. Saw that the third baseman was playing a little bit further back in Odd. Knows he's not exactly a fleet of foot third baseman either, so he said, hey, I'm going to just test your arm, and he did it perfectly. Nice swing there as well.
Fouled hard behind by Osika. Garces has a lot of outs now. Ahead 0-2 in the count with 2 outs as well. Potential ground out, fly out, anything could happen, strikeout as well.
And just to update everyone, they did call that an error. So
big strikeout there from Osika. Sat down by Garces. And as you mentioned, Nick, no action so far in the Baycats bullpen, so we might see even more of Garces. He's done well so far. And the Baycats have done tremendously on the defensive side of the ball. See if they can pick it up even more offensively as they're at bat next. The London Majors trail 3-0 to the Barrie Baycats. You're watching Majors TV with Ty White and Nick McVicker.
Get suited up with us for our big night. We went to Collins Clothiers. They had suits and tuxedos in various colors and styles. The staff helped us pick exactly what we wanted. They custom fit our suits for the perfect fit. They even matched us to our date's dress. It was so much fun trying on suits with the boys on the VIP night. They even got us pizza while we tried clothes on.
For prom kids, of course, are going to be the best dressed.
We felt so confident and looked amazing.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park. The rain has calmed down, almost completely gone, I think I'd say, after a rather long delay to get to the 7th inning. And another scoreless inning for both sides as the Barrie Baycats leading the home team London Majors 3-0 in an important game that if the score remains in Brantford, we'll see whoever comes out victorious in this one earn themselves a spot for first place in all the Inter-County Baseball League. Both teams sitting at 6-2 currently. Barrie coming in off 2 hot wins and handed Guelph their first loss on Tuesday. Majors currently at a 1-loss streak coming to the Welland Jackfish. And Travis Keyes still on the mound, Nick.
Yep, and he looked good in his first inning. Not great, so hopefully he can get more of the good pitches across. Just like that. And to update you on the other games around the IBL, Toronto Maple Leafs now tied with Hamilton once again in the top of the 7th. They're tied 5-5 in Hamilton at the Bernie Arbor Memorial Stadium. And the Royals still trailing 2-1 to Brantford at Arnold Anderson Stadium. That'd be a big result for Brantford if they could hold on to keep Guelph out of the win column.
Absolutely. Guelph stats must be taken with a grain of salt because they played considerably less games than all the other teams in the IBL so far.
Just a few.
That being said, still top of the league with the highest winning percentage. So you got to give credit where credit is due.
Listen, 4 wins in 5 games is nothing to scoff at.
As Ken Azijo, 2 for 3 on the day, having a great day as he wallops one back into center field. Champ Garner's going to have to make a long run, and it will drop in by the warning track. He gets around for a double, and a nice hit from Ken Azijo now improves to 3 and 4 on the day, and what a day he is having.
2 for 3 with a walk included on the day for Ijo. A great opportunity for the Baycats to extend their lead and maybe put this one out of reach.
Travis Keyes really needs to calm things down. We need more quick outs from the Majors.
And half the Majors team is now in the bullpen. Haven't seen that many Majors in the bullpen all night, so definitely something to keep an eye on who starts warming up.
And some action for the Baycats as well.
They did have someone warming up last inning, couldn't catch the number, so we'll try to keep that up to date for you as well.
So Ijo after a double, sitting on second with Adam Odd. Trying to have a bunt there. Diolio will decide to throw it to first. And will take out Adam Odd, or Kyle Maves, I should say. He grounds out, and Adam Odd steps in. Now, Odd really made things interesting when he had a 3 RBI double in his last at-bat. Really stretched open the scoring and opened this game very wide.
Yeah, and it was a great hit as he rounded the bases. As we said, Joseph tried to make the diving play, couldn't, ended up getting all the way to the wall. And now he has a chance to extend the lead, and he's accounted for all 3 runs for the Baycats, and he could extend that to 4 if he can get a hit or maybe even a long fly ball.
Ijo in scoring position as that one in there for strike 1 off the toss from Keyes.
And I think he was going for that long fly ball I just mentioned. He swung very hard on that one.
Only 1 out. Certainly looking like a 4th will come in here for the Baycats.
Keyes definitely looking for the strikeout here because anything hit, Ijo's speed is dangerous enough at third base. He's probably making the run home.
And a very odd night offensively for the Majors to not have any runs whatsoever through the first 7. Is something they really haven't seen all year long, as they have some of the most potent bats in the Intercounty Baseball League, as this one is swung on and well foul, and making the run all the way over there was Victor Plaz, but it was way too far in the stands for him to get a glove on it.
It was about 8 rows deep.
So they count at 0-2. And as you mentioned, a really good opportunity for a strikeout here from Keyes. Very important to punch out Adam Odd.
Absolutely, and you know he's going to need one here if they're hoping to get out of this unscathed, because if he doesn't, that's going to be a real problem.
Keyes settles back in. The 0-2 to Adam Odd. Inside, got his man swinging. Sounded like he got a tiny piece of it, but it's going to be a strikeout in the end for Travis Keyes. And what a perfect time to get one.
Fantastic pitch there, just threw the gas low and away, and almost impossible for Odd to get down to it. He did get a piece of it, but an even better job there by Diolio to hang on and get the strikeout.
Ryan Riho back now, 0 for 3 on the day. He's had a lot of outs directly after his first pitch.
2 pop-ups on first pitches and a ground out in the one at-bat that he saw more than one pitch. So that one's a little low, and we're going to see more than one pitch.
For the first time in a while from Riho. 1-0 down from Travis Keys. Still an opportunity here for Riho to hit anything out in the outfield, or a pop-up, potentially a sac fly as he takes a big swing at that one, and the count evens itself out at 1 apiece.
Keys looking to get out of this inning unscathed. He's got a good opportunity here.
Riho takes a swing at it. It will make its way past Tommy Reyes-Cruz and in to score is Canis Ijo. So Ryan Riho with an RBI single and pokes one out past the shortstop Reyes-Cruz to add a 4th onto the Baycats tally. They lead by a margin of 4 now over the Majors.
Yeah, and a good job there by Ijo. Wasn't loving the pitch, but he was able to poke it into the opposite field. That's what you want to see from your hitters. They using the entire park, and Ijo's not one of the guys that does it very well, but on that pitch, he was just able to force it through the infield.
Hayden Jaco checking back in now. Fastball upstairs, well high, 1-0.
I'm a little surprised we still don't see anybody warming up in the Majors pen, despite the fact that there's 7 or 8 players down there.
Nothing going on for Barrie as well.
So we may be seeing Garces for an 8th inning.
That would be certainly impressive. It's rare to see any pitcher really these days make it out through 8 innings and
at any level.
A complete game as well. So, yeah, across the board at any level. The 2-0. Upstairs again, 3-0. So, green light here for Hayden Jaco.
Career .323 hitter. So, you know he has the green light, 9 home runs across 3 seasons. But he'll just take that one for a walk.
Well outside from Keys. He'll more than likely get talked to soon. Diolio makes his way over to him. Just trying to calm him down as Jaco walks to first. Riho still on second.
A nice little moment out there at second as Riho and the Major second baseman, Krasminski, have a nice little handshake there.
He also said hi to Tommy Reyes-Cruz. Riho, for a familiar face, a friendly face.
It's always nice to see the camaraderie in the IBL. All these players know each other so well.
100%. No sour feelings whatsoever. They're just here to play good baseball in the summer. As that breaking ball in there for strike 1.
Some Bronx cheers there from the fans as well. For the first strike thrown by Keys in 3 batters.
0-1 with 2 outs. The top of the 8th. Well outside. Count at 1-1.
And Machiabrota not having a great game. 2 groundouts and a strikeout so far. So you know he's going to try to capitalize if he can with a runner in scoring position.
Takes another big swing at that one. 0 for 3 on the day, potentially now 0 for 4 after the next offering from Keys.
And if you're Keys, you want to get this out so you can get into the dugout, limiting the damage to just 1 run.
Ball was sliding across the plate. It will be called for strike 3, and that will retire the Baycats side. So Machiabrota goes 0 for 4 on the day with his second strikeout. Keys punches out another one. but not before the Baycats add 1 run to their tally. So the Majors continue to trail, now 4-0. Still a lead, though, that they can crawl back from. And they start things off back at the top of the order now.
And they're going to need something here from Champ Gardner. He's not reached base once today in 3 at-bats, and he's the guy who's supposed to get things going for the Majors. If they have any hope of getting back in, he's got to get it started now.
So what an opportunity here as we have a new pitcher in there for the Barrie Baycats. We'll get you that name in just a second. But finally, after a fantastic first 7 outings, Garces into the game.
So it is Makeo Cisneros making his first appearance of the season for the Baycats. Is actually a late addition to the roster. Was listed as number 90 if you were scoring at home. Now wearing number 22. Wonder if that was just a jersey missing. I've seen that before.
Oh, it happens all the time?
Don't get me wrong, it happens. But he is now into the game for the Baycats. Hasn't pitched so far this season, so it'll be interesting to see how he comes out and tries to capitalize.
A 2024 grad, Cisneros. So just recently he's committed to UCF, the University of Central Florida, so we'll see how much time he actually does spend in the Inter-County Baseball League. Native of Whitby, Ontario.
Yeah, and he does have a 92-mile-per-hour fastball when he wants to throw it, and a bit of a breaking ball. Not sure if it's a full slider or if it's more of like a slurve there, but if he can get that fastball over the plate, it's going to be a problem for the Majors.
So Cisneros checking in for the first time. Someone committed to Central Florida. You're definitely going to see a good arm on the rubber now. The Majors still have their hands full as we're seeing absolute gas being thrown the warning by Cisneros. As Champ Gardner 0 for 3 on the day. Had a failed bunt in his second at bat, a fly out and a ground out. Checks back in for the 4th time. Looking to turn the tables here for the Majors.
And what an outing by Garces. 7 innings, 0 runs, 4 hits, and 3 strikeouts. Didn't walk a single batter. Very impressive.
Fastball from Cisneros in the dirt. We can see he definitely has quite an arm on him.
And he's young, too, so in the IBL, you're getting opportunities, but very concerning if you're the Baycats if he can't find the zone early.
We have a 2-0 count here from Makeo Cisneros to Champ Gardner. Desperately trying to get on base for the Majors. Fastball right down the middle, way too hot to handle. His first strike of the evening. Cisneros, another fastball that was looming outside, is going to be fouled up, and high potential for a play on the ball that will be caught by Hayden Jaco. So nice play by the catcher to get over there and secure the first out on the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, and disappointing for Gardner there. He didn't love the swing, but thought it was going to get out anyway, and in the end, it was a great play there by Jaco to get to it and secure it.
Reyes Cruz 0 for 3 on the day. Historically a pretty good hitter, though, for the Majors. Just a bit of an off day for him so far. Definitely looking to improve now, and it would be the time to do so.
That one gets away from Jaco.
Reyes Cruz is hitting .333 on the year before this game. Also with 5 RBIs, just looking to get on base now. There's that ball outside, 2-0.
Need to get something going. Time is running out with only 5 outs remaining for the Majors.
More smoke in there from Cisneros. Is fouled off. And I think that ball might have made its way.
So it hit the netting this time and bounced into the open side because the netting doesn't go all the way around. So it didn't go through, but did make it way into the crowd.
A lot of foul balls in this one. As Reyes Cruz takes a swing at that one, didn't connect on it. Count even at 2-2. A chance for a strikeout here for Cisneros. Reyes Cruz fouls one off.
Falls way out of the batter's box as well. It went straight across the plate.
Yeah, he definitely followed it and took a tumble afterwards. Ambitious, though. Just dying to get on base here. Hoping for any sort of offense from the majors. Reyes Cruz will hit one, and it will drop in past the first baseman and the second baseman for a single. The majors only one out, and finally they do get another one on, and it's Tommy Reyes Cruz.
Yeah, and that's a big hit there for the majors. You know they needed runners on base, and as you bring Starling Joseph up and Cardoso to follow him, the more action you can have on the base pass, the better, because these guys have some serious power and they can half this lead really quickly.
So what an opportunity here for the majors, getting towards the heart of their order. Reyes Cruz on first. Joseph up to bat now, followed by Cardoso. And then even potentially DeOlio. We'll see if Starling can show us even more of a star effort as he's done in the past.
And I do need to correct myself. I missed a hit for Garces. He did give up 5 hits, but regardless, 0 earned runs is fantastic.
Will most definitely be credited for the win if things remain the same here. Chance for a double play. That one will get there in time to punch out Tommy Reyes Cruz, but not before Starling Joseph made it to first base. So he singles as well. Nothing changes for the majors except they have one more down now, so 2 outs. Cisneros trying to keep things the same way. Perfect 0 on the scoreboard. Cardoso, chance to change that now. Definitely need some offense here. Don't want to rely completely on their last at-bats in the 9th inning as Cardoso takes a hard swing at that one. Will be in there for strike 1.
Yep, and a good job by Joseph to get in contact on that, but hit it right at the shortstop. Almost was able to force an error because it was good running from Reyes Cruz, but nothing doing for the majors.
Cardoso will hit one directly to the second baseman that brought him off the bag. Maves made the throw in time, though. Mackie Broda had to tag out in the end. So Caden Cardoso grounds out there, and just like that, the heart of the majors order goes down and puts their chances to come back in this one in jeopardy. When we come back, the Barrie Baycats trying to add to their lead, currently up 4-0. The majors trying to crawl back. It's 4-0 here at Labatt Memorial Park, and you're watching Majors TV.
When you need a night out, Throw London is on point. With an atmosphere that's a cut above, Throw London brings together the best in knife throwing, axe throwing, and darts. So it's the perfect spot for a date night, night out with friends, leagues, and team building for the office. You've got to be 13 or older to throw pointy objects and 19 plus to enjoy their fully licensed offerings. It's the best spot in London for some fun with an edge. London's original knife throwing. Check them out at 2190 Dundas Street East and online at ithrow.ca. That's ITHROW.ca.
Welcome back, folks, inside Labatt Memorial Park with the Barrie Baycats. They've had a fantastic outing so far in this one on a night that was rainy here in downtown London. at the Forks of the Thames. So the Baycats lead 4-0 after adding 1 run to their tally in the 8th inning. And they're back up at bat now, trying to do even more damage. The Majors in a damage control situation as we're bringing you another pitching change. All pitching changes are presented to you by Throw, London's original knife throwing. It looks like Jonathan Henry, formerly of Albany State University, on the mound now for the Majors in further relief.
Yep, and he's already made 2 appearances on the season, and both of them coming in the last week or so. Not a whole lot on the docket, only pitched 2 innings, but has only given up 1 run, which is fantastic. 2 strikes to 3 walks, so not the best K to walk ratio, but let's see how he does here against the Baycats.
Big swing there from Ricky Phillips, who's back up at bat. Hit a triple in this last at bat, an impressive triple that made it all the way back. Hit the warning track, then hit the wall, and he rounded second just in time to slide into third.
He's a quick runner, so you want to keep him off the base paths.
He's going to take a swing at this one. It'll make it as far as Krasminski. Over to Cardoso. That ball bounced, and it got away from Cardoso. Deolio has to chase, so around to second is Ricky Phillips. Off what will certainly be characterized as an error.
It's interesting, though. I do want to see how they label this one. I think they gave it an error already, but if I'm scoring that, I think he reached on a single, but got to second on the error. It was a very close play at first. They gave it an error, so that's what we're going to call it, but it was very close.
Didn't come down close in the end. That ball was in the dirt, though, from Krasminski. One that he'll want back. Jonathan Henry still on the mound, top of the 9th here. The Majors trying to definitely steer in a damage control mode. As that ball broke nicely for strike 1 against Zach Orchard. Orchard has 2 walks and 1 strikeout back in his first at bat. The 0-1 from Henry. Slid low across the base. And there for ball 1.
Listen, and we've seen some good at-bats from Orchard. I know he had the K in the first at-bat that he was in the game, but 2 walks after that. He's done a really good job getting on base and forcing a lot of pitches.
Fastball in there. It'll be called for strike 2 as Orchard watched out the whole way through.
And with that error, putting a man in scoring position, you know the Majors are now backs against the wall. You cannot allow another run in this game.
And that one swung on, strike 3 called. So Jonathan Henry punching out Zach Orchard.
It was a very weak swing by Orchard on the 3rd strike. He must have seen it really late, and he's looking at the bat like it's the bat's fault. But unfortunately, your equipment can't swing for you.
Yeah, makes that slow walk back to his dugout. Disappointed with that at bat. Not the greatest swing from him in the end. And the Majors have 1 down in the top of the 9th.
Carson Burns up to bat, and he'll take strike 1 on the pitch. He's 0 for 2 with a walk in the game and a run scored.
It was the second person to walk after Zach Orchard. That started that kind of snowball effect. And eventually led to the scoring. Henry's pitch dropped by Deolio.
A little low to begin with as well. Quick update on the out-of-town scoreboard. Maple Leafs now trailing 7-5 to the Hamilton Cardinals in Hamilton, while the Royals still trailing in the top of the 8th, 2-1 to Brantford. For some reason, our game is going much faster than those ones, even with the rain delay.
Definitely. That one outside. Count at 3-1.
play at second base there.
Yeah, definitely just toying with this man as that ball dropped perfectly. Made it look easy there on the fielding from Caden Cardoso. Bouncing ball got right into his glove off a one-hopper that bounced really high at first. And eventually it'll just be another ground out. Carson Burns sat down.
But Phillips does get to third base on the ground out. So another opportunity here with a runner at third for Ijo to extend the Baycats lead.
So 2 outs here in the top of the 9th. The Majors desperately trying to end this one as man is still on third and the dangerous Ijo steps back in. 2 for 3 on the day with a walk. He singled and doubled. Henry's pitch. Swung on hard. Flown out in a shallow right field. The catch will be made by a stumbling Krasminski. Looked more dangerous than it perhaps needed to be in the end. But nonetheless, the Majors close out the 9th inning scoreless. Have done a good job. So the Majors, through 9 innings, 7 of them scoreless. Unfortunately, it's just that dangerous 6th and the 8th that looks like it could end in their demise this evening. As the Baycats have 4 runs to the Majors 0. And we'll go back to see more of this one. Eduardo DeOlio steps in. Reichstein and Victor Plaz trying to save the game for the Majors.
Yep, and Cisneros back out on the mound, but they do have Brandon Hillier in the bullpen warming up just in case this game gets a little bit closer than they would like. It'll be interesting to see if they let the youngster go the full way, Barrie, with his first appearance for the Baycats this season. DeOlio is the guy that you want to be out there. He's the leader on this team, the catcher. And if Cardoso and Joseph aren't going to get things going, DeOlio's the guy that you hope to get things going from the Majors.
As the Majors faithful who have stuck around in the ballpark, quite a few people still left after all the rain, and considering the fact that the Majors have been shut out thus far, the crowd trying to heat up to help the offense out just that much more.
And we're getting the Hey song get going like the Blue Jays had earlier in the week. It's a good opportunity for them to see if they can get things ready to go.
So we saw a good first outing from Makayo Cisneros. He's done really well. We've seen some fantastic fastballs. As we mentioned, that velocity gets up to 92. And he's a commit to the University of Central Florida. Trying to close things out tonight and earn the save.
And I just said that Guelph was trailing. They had a big top of the 9th and are now leading 3-2 in Brantford after picking up 2 runs in the top of the 9th.
So the Royals crawling back against Brantford, and they have done a great job, done well all season considering they've had a number of games canceled, postponed due to bad weather.
They've had just as many games canceled or postponed as they've played.
As DeOlio takes one almost to his chest there directly. Had to watch out. Almost would have been better if he took one in the chest there to try to get on base easily, but it's 1-0. 1-0 is swung on, fouled off behind him. That was a just dangerous fastball from Cisneros.
But DeOlio was right on top of that one, so if he can level out that swing, he could do some real damage here.
The exit velocity on that would be clocked in quite high, I imagine.
Just a little bit through the roof.
Cisneros in there again. That ball will dribble down and bounces right off the bag. So DeOlio makes it safely to first after a whimsical play. That ball rolling down the third base line, catches the top of the bag and flips over the head of Adam Odd. So what a way to reach first base, and fantastic way to start out the bottom of the ninth for the Majors. They desperately needed that, and they'll take it any way they can get it at this point in the game, Nick.
As I saw that one going down the third base line, and I'm like, this is going to hit the bag. It barely was bouncing. It stayed low the whole way, and you know when it's going down that line, that's exactly what you expect, and it bounced perfectly up and over the third baseman. You can't ask for a better hit. It's pretty much the perfect bunt. You can't do better than that.
So the Baycats manager, Josh Matlow, going out to talk things over with the youngster, Makai Cineros. And we have a pinch runner in for the Majors. Looks like number 95, Charlie Bowman. And a pitching change will be made in the end here. All pitching changes are brought to you by Throw, London's original knife throwing. New man on the mound, and it's Brandon Hillier for the Baycats.
Yep, Hillier is making his third appearance of the season. First opportunity today. He's pitched 2 2/3 innings with only giving up 2 hits, hasn't given up an earned run, but does have 2 runs against him. So came in and gave up a couple. 2 strikeouts to a 1 walk and a 0 ERA through 2 2/3 this season. They're going to hope that he can close this out without adding an earned run to his line.
Hillier, a chance to be the hero or the zero here tonight in downtown London. He played in the IBL from 2014 to 2017 for the Burlington Bandits / Herd. Did not play in the IBL in 2018. And 2019, he played all the way up until now, so took a little break in 2018 from playing baseball. But someone who can definitely make an impact. Rather high ERA, though, 6.69 in his career, 3-8 record, and just over 141 innings pitched. But a chance to do good tonight for his Baycats. But he's in a tricky situation as Diolio reached first base. Reichstein, Plaz, and Krasminski to follow, with a pinch runner, Charlie Bowman, on first. So here we go.
A little bit of speed on first now as well.
Hillier's first one is in there. A fastball called for strike 1 inside on Reichstein.
And Reichstein hasn't had the greatest game at the plate, 0 for 3. So you know he's hoping to do something to help the side.
Fastball low and outside. Count at 1-1.
Bowman dancing out there at first base, too, something to keep an eye on.
Baycats not out of the woods yet. Still have some stuff to overcome as that one is popped out high, carrying left, and almost made a play at the Majors dugout there. Adam Odd running across. Couldn't reach the ball in the end. And it was definitely a play, though, that he could have made. Just couldn't track that one down quite in the sky.
I don't know if it was a track down. It almost came back. I wonder if there's a bit of wind out there. It's hard to tell from in the media booth, but it came back towards the infield as he got to the Majors dugout. So interesting play, good effort there by Odd, but just couldn't come up with it.
Certainly wasn't a routine play for Odd. Nonetheless, made the run over there as that fastball high and outside. Count even at 2-2. Big at back here for Reichstein.
And Reichstein leads the team in walks, so you know he's got a pretty good eye.
He takes a swing at that one. Another one fouled back and left. Could this one be tracked down?
Jaco trying to get there, but it's out of play.
Too far carrying it out, but good swing by Reichstein to keep himself alive. Count remains at 2-2.
Lots of happy youngsters down there in the crowd looking for the ball.
Baseball's flying all over the park tonight. A fair few in the hands of the youngsters.
There's been more balls hit into the stands than there have been hit into play.
I think that's actually pretty safe to say.
There's 12 hits, but there seems to be more going out. And even some into the netting that ended out.
The 2-2 from Hillier, swung on. Can it make it past the second baseman? What a play sliding over by Kyle Maves. So one runner will advance. Bowman, the pinch runner, now when they're at second base. And a fantastic play from Kyle Maves to slide his way over in between second and first. Get the ball over to Macabroda and gets out Byron Reichstein on a ground out. So one out for the Baycats. In the bottom of the ninth, Victor Plaz steps up. He is 1 for 3 on the day.
Did get reach on an error in his last at bat as well, so.
That a high fastball. Once again, the umpire calling a controversial one here at Labatt Memorial Park.
And the fans did not like it.
You can definitely hear that on the broadcast. Certainly Victor Plaz didn't like that one. Down 0-1. Fastball inside. Count at 1-1. They really need men on base here any way they can get it. Keep the outs to a minimum. But things coming down to the wire here in this Friday night game in London, as that one is poked out to center field, and a easy catch. Bowman will not make the run. Safely back to second. But a fly out for Victor Plaz. He'll finish the day likely going 1 for 3 or 1 for 4. '27 Gibson Kresminski back in the game. Now with 2 outs down. Potentially the last hope for the Majors. And the Baycats are 1 away.
0 for 3 on the day for Kresminski. Came in batting .263, so you know he wants to get a hit to not only keep his average up a little bit, but help the team get back into this one a little.
Strike one off a fastball inside. Count at 0-1.
Toronto Maple Leafs getting a run back in their game now, only trailing down 7-6 to Hamilton in the top of the 8th.
Another ball that was in there, controversial to a fair few around here in London, and definitely some folks in the press box. Down 0-2. I didn't say you, Nick. I didn't say you. Kresminski against the ropes. Baycats looking to end things. Hillier's pitch in there for strike 3 swinging. Gibson Kresminski is sat down, and just like that, the Barrie Baycats take down the London Majors. Final of 4-0, improve on the year to 7-2, 4-1 on the road. An impressive outing as we're going to close things up here in Labatt Memorial Park. As we'll bring you back inside the Game Day London broadcast booth for the final time tonight. Ty White alongside Nick McVicker. An unfortunate night here at Labatt Memorial Park. You know, things for a while there were scoreless for at least the first 5 innings of play.
Yep.
Then we saw 3 walks in a row coming from Jose Arias. Unfortunate against them. And then that 3 RBI double that ended up happening really just catapult things in a completely different direction in the end for the Baycats.
It gave the Baycats all of the momentum, and we said pregame that pitching was going to decide this one, and it did. Both starting pitchers did really well, but when it comes down to it, a couple walks and then a hit ended the game for Arias and really put the Majors behind the 8 ball the rest of the way.
So it's too bad the London Majors fall in a final score of 4-0 here at Labatt Memorial Park in front of this home crowd. They're back in action in Barrie in Vintage Thorns Stadium on Sunday, June 9th, just in a couple days down the road. Then they're back here at Labatt Memorial Park to take on the Maple Leafs and the Cardinals. That's June 14th, and then 16th is our Father's Day celebration. Today was the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Sober campaign for the 3rd annual year. We thank you so much for joining us here on Majors TV. The Barrie Baycats take down the London Majors final of 4-0. Thanks for tuning in with Ty White and Nick McVicker. We appreciate you watching. You're watching Majors TV, and we're closing things out. Have a safe night and a wonderful weekend from wherever you may be.
So I'm here with GM and co-owner Roop Chandernat. First off, Roop, how's your week been so far?
Good week. Anytime you're on a baseball field, it's a good week. So I'm looking forward to a big game tonight.